called DEXA, helps detect low bone mass and bone disease called osteoporosis. If you're 65 or older, Medicare provides free bone density tests every 2 years. Ask your doctor to schedule yours. For more information on how to be bone strong, visit pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
Benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Here we go. Welcome in. Happy Thursday, everybody. It is indeed Sports 56 Mornings on Thursday, July 18th, 2024. I am Eli Savoy. There is no Greg Gaston today. He'll be back on the show tomorrow, I believe. Then he'll probably be off again next week. I don't know. Need some time off. Zach Boyd is here as we are live in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, that's where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Winton Road. Go check out those pools and spas and play gyms and patio furniture and all kinds of great stuff. All kinds of fun stuff over at Family Leisure. Again, 2120 Winton Road, just north of I-40. First hour of the program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. And speaking of the Big Green Egg, speaking of some of those outdoors things that you can find over at Family Leisure, man, oh man, over the next few days, are you going to have an opportunity to take advantage of doing some stuff outside. Today, there is some rain expected, possibly some thunderstorms. But then tomorrow is supposed to be sunny with a high of 81. Yes, just 81 degrees. The high expected for tomorrow. We're in the middle of July in Memphis, and we're talking highs in the low 80s. Same thing on Saturday with temperatures in the low 80s, not as humid, lots of sunshine. Sunday, similar, although there is some possible rain in the forecast on Sunday. But again, once the rain, again, there is rain expected today in areas, and again, possibly a thunderstorm here or there. But once that gets out of here, we are in for a couple of absolutely beautiful days to get the weekend started. Coming up on today's program, the British Open is underway. They have been playing since about 12:30 this morning, Central Time. We'll update the leaderboard. It is playing difficult at Royal Troon. Some guys are already in the clubhouse, and we have an American at the top of the leaderboard. Pretty big name American right now at the top of the leaderboard. We'll update you on the British Open. We, of course, have the Grizzlies to talk about. They were in action again in Vegas in the Summer League. And once again, they win a game. They've put themselves in a great position going into the finale of the regular play of the Summer League is tonight for the Grizzlies. And with a win, they should pretty much secure themselves a spot in the Summer League playoffs, the Summer League Final Four, if you will. So we'll talk about the Grizzlies' win last night, a couple of other things from Summer League, including Bronny James having his best game. David Roddy. How about David Roddy? Big body Roddy. Played hero last night for the Phoenix Suns out in Las Vegas. Caitlin Clark sets a WNBA record. The Memphis Tigers have announced the themes for their football games at home this year. Team USA was in action yesterday as well in another exhibition game, and they rolled to a win over the team that they will play first when the actual Olympics get started. Of course, we will go down to Dallas. It's day 4, the final day of SEC Media Days. 4 more teams on display today. It will be the Arkansas Razorbacks, the Auburn Tigers, the Kentucky Wildcats, and the Texas A&M Aggies to round things out down in Dallas at SEC Media Days. Brett Norsworthy from Sportstime, he'll join us at 8:05. We'll talk with Steve Moulton from 97.7 The Zone in Huntsville, Alabama. We're going to talk some Auburn with him at 9:05. And then Trey Schapp from 103.7 The Buzz in Little Rock. We'll talk Arkansas at 9:30. In between there, Kerry Miller with his regular weekly spot at about 8:30, as we'll talk Major League Baseball with Kerry from the Bleacher Report. And Bleacher Report ranking the top 50 players of the modern era of Major League Baseball. What they're considering the modern era for this exercise is the wild card era. So they're going back to basically 95, I believe it is. And even if some guys who started their career before 95 may have actually played through 95 but aren't eligible for this. But Kerry's part of the group that is doing these rankings. And so we'll talk to him about that. I think they've released up to number 20. I think today they release numbers 11 through 20. And then tomorrow, I believe it is, they're going to release their top 10 players of this modern era of Major League Baseball. So that's coming up on the program today. Of course, we got your calls, your texts. Always welcome to join the program on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. You can call or text on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line. Mr. Zach Boyd, how you doing this morning?
Well, we're doing good so far.
That's good. So far, it's early. I mean, long time to go.
It's been a long month. That's all I gotta say. It's been a long month.
Well, hey, you're surviving. That's all that matters. The guys at the British Open, a lot of golf left too. Long way to go there. But some folks have already completed their first round, including Justin Thomas, who sits all alone atop the leaderboard. Thomas birdied his last 2 holes to get to 3 under par for a 1-shot lead in the clubhouse after round 1 of the British Open. And as I'm watching here, Rory McIlroy is about to re-tee. I think he just hit a ball out of bounds.
Oh, no.
Rory, who just 3-putted for bogey on the last hole to go to 3 over, he's re-teeing right now. That is not good. He just hit one out of bounds. So not a good start for Rory McIlroy. We'll go through this leaderboard here to give you an update as we get things started. But Justin Thomas, as I mentioned, 3 under par. He's in the clubhouse. 3 guys in the clubhouse at 2 under par. Alex Noren, Nikolai Hogard, and Justin Rose all shot 2 under par, 69 today. Others at 2 under par on the golf course, Russell Henley, Maverick McNeely, and Sam Hutsby. They are all at 2 under par, still playing their first rounds. Adam Scott shot a 1 under par 70. He is in the clubhouse. Some of the other folks as we go down the leaderboard, Tony Finau currently even par. John Rahm currently even par. Defending champion Brian Harmon at even par. Terrell Hatton, who I like a lot this week, he's at even par. Let's see here. We go down. Big Bob McIntyre, who won the Scottish Open last week, he's at 1 over par. Let's see. We continue down. Ludwig Oberg, who a lot of people like, he's at 2 over. Tom Kim, 2 over par. Rory McIlroy, as I mentioned, is at 3 over par and hit one out of bounds off the tee on number 11. So he could be on his way to posting a big number. Will Zalatoris, 4 over par. Sungjae Im, 5 over par. Max Homa, 5 over par. John Daly, 6 over par. He is tied with U.S. Open champion Bryson DeChambeau. DeChambeau is 6 over par through 11 holes. Sahith Theegala, also 6 over par through 11 holes today. So that is a look at the leaderboard. Justin Thomas, your first-round leader at Royal Troon in Scotland at the British Open as he fires an opening round 68. Tiger Woods will not tee off till about 8:30 this morning. There's a lot of folks that have yet to tee off. So still a lot of golf to be played over at Royal Troon. Scotty Scheffler still got to go, among others, in the afternoon wave over there. Brooks Koepka, Scotty Scheffler, Tiger Woods, Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, some of the bigger names that still have to tee it up over at Royal Troon. Last night out in Vegas, Memphis Grizzlies do it again, dominating the Summer League. Had a big lead, let the Magic back in it, but then pull it out down the stretch, 104-98 the final in that one. Grizzlies get 27 points, 13 rebounds from G.G. Jackson. 10 of 20 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3. Only 4 for 9 from the free throw line, which is, you don't like to see that. Also had 0 assists. I would like to see G.G. be able to create a little bit more for his teammates. But 27 and 13, G.G. looked outstanding, looked like a, what he should look like, what we feel like he should look like in the Summer League. And then Scottie Pippen Jr. continues to be fantastic. 25 points, 9 of 14 from the field, 6 of 7 at the free throw line. He was 1 for 4 from 3. 25 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, as those two led the way. The Grizzlies, once again, no Zach Edey. He did not play again last night. They also sat Jake LaRavia and Cam Spencer. So I assume that was in a way to, because I assume the guys that played last night are not going to play tonight in the back-to-back. So you'd know, I would assume that you're not going to see those guys. So tonight it allows you to have Spencer, LaRavia. We'll see if Zach Edey, again, that the plan still, they keep saying basically that Zach Edey, they do expect Zach Edey to play in Las Vegas, but once again was not in action last night. Now you're down to 1 regular game. And again, if they win tonight, they should be into the playoffs, which would begin on Saturday. They would play a semifinal game Saturday, and if they win that, then they would play the championship game on Sunday. There are 5 teams now that are 3-0 in top 4 advance. 5 teams that are 3-0. The Grizzlies, the Heat, the Warriors, the Clippers, and the Spurs. The Grizzlies have the second best point differential. They're at a plus 15.3. So, again, a win tonight against New Orleans, you would expect would put them into the playoffs of the Summer League, and maybe they could claim another Summer League championship. What that's worth? Well, absolutely nothing. But hey, if you're going to play, you might as well win. And New Orleans is 0-3 out there. New Orleans has struggled. So, 5 o'clock today, NBA TV. Grizzlies should have a pretty good shot at winning the game. But again, we'll see who plays as well in that game tonight for the Grizzlies. I would expect LaRavia does play. Spencer plays. We'll see about Edey. And then I would expect that certainly Jackson, G.G. sits. Pippen probably sits as well, and because they don't play back-to-back. So Grizzlies trying to secure a spot in the Summer League playoffs. But G.G. was fantastic last night. G.G., like again, he's, with his size, athleticism, like when he gets it going offensively, pretty darn hard to guard. He can score on pretty much anybody. When he wants, he's got that ability. again, the question will be, one, how many minutes is there actually for Gigi when the actual regular season starts? If everybody's healthy, where do the minutes come? How many of those minutes come? And how does Gigi fit in with basically being the fourth or fifth option? I mean, Gigi his whole life has been the guy. He was the number one rated recruit in his class before he reclassified. Then he goes to South Carolina. While he didn't have a great year there, he still was like the guy. Like he's still their guy. Then last year, he starts the year with the hustle. Obviously a huge focal point. He's the guy. Then by the time he comes up with the Grizzlies, with everybody injured, he kind of had the freedom to shoot whenever he wanted. He could be kind of he's one of the guys you're looking to score and be one of the main weapons. Now this year, again, fingers crossed, assuming everybody is healthy, and Gigi is getting minutes, how can he fit in that group? That'll be part of the interesting thing to see. Coming up a little bit later in this hour, I want to go through some power rankings, NBA power rankings, a couple of different sources and where the Grizzlies are in those power rankings. But again, there's this assumption, I guess, about Gigi Jackson being a part of the rotation. And I think, again, I've said I think he's in the rotation, but it's he's like the fringe rotation guy. If Luke Kennard is back, which again, everybody believes he will be. But again, I just don't, it's hard to find minutes for a lot of these guys. When you're talking about, if the starting lineup is Ja, Smart, Bane, Jaren, and we assume Zach Edey. Zach, are we assuming Edey's going to start? We're making that assumption right now?
What, on day one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So if that's your starting lineup, then you've got off the bench, Kennard, Vince Williams. Those we believe are givens, correct?
Right.
Brandon Clark.
Yep.
So now we're at 8. Is Gigi number 9? Is he the 9th guy?
I think so.
Or is Santi the 9th guy?
I think how they probably do it, they probably take Santi and then Gigi as the 10th guy.
So Gigi as a 10th guy, like how many minutes can there be for a 10th guy? And we're not even, in that setup there, we're not talking about any backup point guard. We're giving Smart and Bane the backup point guard minutes.
Right.
So we're saying, screw the backup point guard, screw Derrick Rose and whoever else. Like the backup point guard minutes are going to go to Bane and to Smart, which I fully believe should be the case, and I believe will be the case. And quite frankly, like if he could pick up with what he's doing in the summer league, Scottie Pippen Jr. to me is clearly ahead of Derrick Rose in any rotation. Like I trust Scottie Pippen Jr. more than Derrick Rose.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, he's been, again, what he's doing on the defensive end and scoring and being efficient and stuff, Scottie Pippen Jr. has been really, really good. I mean, Derrick Rose is simply there as a mentor at this point, I think.
Yeah. The Udonis Haslam role.
Yeah, he is a figurehead. Yeah. He's basically an assistant coach.
Basically. It's like Taj Gibson signing a 1-year deal with the Charlotte Hornets. Like, it doesn't make sense, but hey, he's a locker room guy.
So that would leave Laravia out, Conchar out, Derrick Rose out. Who else would be? Who's the other ones on regular?
Zaire and Jalen Wells.
That's right, Zaire and Jalen Wells. And again, we'll see if Zaire's even here, or if any of those other guys get moved, possibly either. But yeah, I think it's again. that things will happen, guys will miss games and all that. But just if everybody's healthy and you got the full rotation, there's not a whole lot of minutes there for Gigi, and it'll be interesting to see again how he fits in when he's got limited minutes and he's out there with other guys who are ahead of him on the totem pole. Can he kind of fit in with that group? That's what I'll be interested to see out of Gigi once the season actually starts.
In my mind, Gigi is fighting minutes for with Santi because I think they not similar skill set, but they're bigger wing players that can stretch out, knock down a three. It's going to come down to if Gigi can rebound at a high level the last 2 games like he has done, it opens up more flexibility with your lineup combination.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because you could play a small lineup and have Gigi at the 4. He can do it with his size, athleticism. He could do a lot of things. That again, it creates. And I think you're right. I think that's him and Santi are battling, but Santi has played with those guys and kind of can be that non-main focal point. He knows how to fit in a little bit more with these guys. Gigi just hasn't played with them. Gigi didn't come up till they were all hurt and out. He's played with Jaren, but he hasn't had the chance to play with Ja and Desmond and these guys. So he's got to try and figure that out. But he was absolutely fantastic last night. Again, when he offensively, there are no question marks other than as far as scoring goes. Now, you have questions about him as a playmaker. Again, 0 assists last night in his 30 minutes. But as far as just going to get you a bucket, Gigi, we know Gigi can do that. No doubt that Gigi can do that. But the Grizzlies, again, tonight, 5 o'clock against New Orleans. With a win, they should make it into the Final Four, the playoffs of the Summer League.
Yeah. Point differential took a hit last night, but hey, you got the win. That's all that matters.
Miami's at 15.7. Grizzlies are at 15.3. So they still are. Again, I don't even unless it would take the other 3 teams that are undefeated. I think all winning by 40 in their last game. Golden State, the Clippers, and San Antonio would all have to win by 40. I think. I haven't done the math, but they would have to win by a whole bunch in order to, even if the Grizzlies win by 1 point, those 3 would have to absolutely dominate their final games in order for because you'd have to have all 3 of them pass the Grizzlies in point differential.
And I think Miami and the Grizzlies are destined to meet in the championship game.
Oh, calling a Miami Grizzlies final.
That Miami team is crazy.
They've been really good. Obviously, they surpassed the Grizzlies in point differential. Last night, also in the Summer League, Bronny made a 3. He made 2 of them.
Hey, there we go.
He's off the schneid.
He just need to see one go down.
12 points for Bronny. Got his first double-figure game. 5 for 11 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3. Slump is over. The slump is over for Bronny. He's breaking loose now. He's ready to break loose. That win in the Call of Duty tournament unlocked some things for Bronny. He's
starting to feel comfortable again,
And then David Roddy. How about old David Roddy? For the Phoenix Suns, playing OKC. They're down by 3 with 25 seconds left, something like that. And Roddy hits a 3 to tie the game. OKC goes down. They score with, a second left. Phoenix inbounding the ball after a timeout. Get it to Roddy. He tries a 3, misses it, but they call a foul. So Roddy goes to the free throw line, down by 2 with few tenths of a second left, I think it was, and hits all 3 free throws. So he hits the 3 to tie, and then hits the 3 free throws to win it for Phoenix as David Roddy plays hero for the Suns in Summer League. Genesis Diamonds, folks, when it comes to buying diamonds, a lot of us, and I know I include myself in this, a lot of us guys, we don't know really what we're looking for. We go in, we ask somebody to help us, and we're trying to just go by what they tell us and make our decision. Genesis Diamonds They don't have commissioned salespeople. They're not there to try and make you buy the most expensive thing in the store. They're just there they'll help you. They'll educate you to make you smarter when you are buying diamonds or any type of jewelry. Things that you should be looking for, how prices are set, what affects the pricing of a diamond. So when you're shopping there or anywhere, you can approach it and have a better idea of what exactly you should be looking for. And that's what it's about. They've got an unbelievable selection. They've got fantastic pricing. But more on top of that, they've got great people to help you and make you a smarter shopper when it comes to buying jewelry. So don't buy any diamond until you learn the ins and outs from Genesis Diamonds. You'll find them at Poplar and Perkins Extended. Again, the selection, that'll blow you away. From diamonds to all of the top designers that they've got. When you walk in, just case after case after case of jewelry. The pricing, direct importer pricing, they take out the middleman. And then again, that service, that education you'll get when it comes to buying diamonds and jewelry. That's what it's about at Genesis Diamonds. Poplar and Perkins Extended. Rory McIlroy made a double bogey on that hole. So Rory McIlroy is now 5 over par in his first round at the British Open. When we come back, we're going to look at some NBA power rankings, where the Grizzlies fall. As we continue here, Sports 56 mornings on this Thursday morning, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Set earrings there for my wife and paid a lot less than what we charge here, even after my employee discount. Wow. You never know who you'll see shopping at Genesis Diamonds. With no middleman pricing on the best selection of diamond rings, earrings, pendants, bands, and bracelets, it's a no-brainer. I admire your dedication to our jewelry store and not going to Genesis. I know the boss really appreciates your loyalty. It's just the right thing to do, man. And it's nice your wife won't mind getting a smaller diamond. On second thought, can you cover me while I take a break? Genesis Diamonds, the smart alternative to old-fashioned jewelry shopping. With more selection, lower prices, higher quality, stronger warranties, and zero pressure. At Poplar and Perkins Extended.
In financial trouble and need some help? Call Jimmy McElroy at McElroy & Associates at 901-363-7283. At McElroy & Associates, they understand that bad things can happen to good people. Jimmy has helped thousands of people overcome financial problems in 30-plus years of experience and is licensed in Tennessee and Mississippi. They make this process as easy as possible. Contact them today to find out how you can get a fresh start. That's Jimmy McElroy & Associates at 901-363-7283.
Hi, this is Jimmy Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home, with Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out of the store.
Corky's Barbecue.
Hi, this is Jimmy Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home, with Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out of the store.
College football season is approaching quickly, and that means it's time for SEC Media Days. Brad Morsworthy is broadcasting live from Dallas, Texas, Monday through Thursday, previewing the upcoming every season and bringing you interviews with players, coaches, and SEC insiders. So tune into Sports Time with Brian and Brett, as well as throughout the rest of the day for SEC Media Days coverage on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. SEC Media Days is brought to you by First National Bank and Trust, Woods, Jim's Place in Collierville, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Wade Incorporated, the commissary in Germantown and Collierville, Sissy's Log Cabin, Memphis Sports and Tourism Council, Ronnie Grisani's, Jimmy McElroy and Associates, Landers Ford, and Jason's Deli. The SEC Media Days on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianellerroofing.com.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show. Right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's got even heavier in the last few minutes coming down I-40 right now, westbound. Passing 269 as that traffic continues to flow in right now from Fayette County into Shelby County on I-40 West. Still looks good as you come down the interstate all the way to Germantown Parkway. Watching it pick up with a little bit more volume in the last few minutes. 55 northbound up through South Haven into South Memphis. Hey, Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversions. Log on today, havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back, 7:32 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Ron texted in on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, says, Vegas thinks the Grizzlies win. They're a 9-point favorite tonight. Biggest one. First of all, let me just say this. If you're betting on Summer League, you have a problem.
You are a madman, sir.
You are. That is the true definition of degenerate. If you're betting Summer League. I don't understand how they even set lines for Summer League games, because tell me who's playing for the Grizzlies tonight. They have no idea. They don't know who's playing for sure.
The G League Hustle is playing tonight. So
it's like, God bless them for even putting out lines on Summer League games. But I was actually talking to somebody last night who was mad because they lost their parlay. They had the Grizzlies which was the winner, but they also had the Indiana Fever, who lost. So I said, if you're parlaying the WNBA and NBA Summer League together, you, sir,
need help.
May need to call the number. That's you just
real bad, man.
Oh, I was like, man, that is.
Why would you want to put yourself through all that torture, man?
I don't know. God bless you. God bless you if you're parlaying the WNBA and NBA Summer League together. So The Athletic came out with their off-season NBA power rankings. And they like to put rankings into tiers. So they've got various tiers that they put teams in. Their top tier is the contenders. How many teams, Zach, would you put in a tier called the contenders? So how many teams do you think are true contenders to win the NBA title?
Okay, I got to pull up my list here. The Boston Celtics, obviously.
They have them at number 1.
Denver Nuggets.
They have them in there. They're at number 5.
I wouldn't be surprised the Knicks are in that
They do not have the Knicks in the top tier. They do not have. They only have 5 teams in the top tier that they call the contenders.
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves are at number 4.
In my mind, those was 76ers.
No, they're not. OKC.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You get OKC is number 2.
So that's 3 in the Northwest Division.
And then they have Dallas.
And then the Milwaukee Bucks.
No.
No?
It's Boston, OKC, Dallas, Minnesota, Denver. So they only have 1 Eastern Conference team that they call a contender.
That's crazy.
And then 4 Western Conference teams.
3 in one division, man.
Their tier 2 is brink of contention. That leads off with the Knicks at number 6. At number 7, they put at number 7 in their rankings, power rankings for the NBA right now, and on the brink of contention, the New Orleans Pelicans.
With what starting center?
They have New Orleans Pelicans at number 7. Philadelphia at 8. Milwaukee at 9. So that's the end of tier 2. That's the brink of contention. So on the brink of contention, 3 Eastern Conference teams amongst the 4. Then tier 3 is playoff teams. Number 10 overall, Indiana. Number 11, Orlando. At number 11 overall in the NBA, the Orlando Magic. Number 12, Phoenix. Number 13, Golden State. Number 14, Sacramento. Number 15, Cleveland. That ends their tier 3, which they call playoff teams. Tier 4, play-in tournament teams or better. So probably play-in, maybe they sneak ahead of that into the playoffs. It starts at number 16 overall. That's the Lakers. Number 17,
I'm sorry. Okay, go. I'm sorry.
Number 17, the Clippers. Then at number 18, the Memphis Grizzlies. So they have the Grizzlies as a play-in team or better, ranking them number 18 overall in the NBA. And if you go just in the Western Conference, they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th.
So they're not going to be in the play-in. That's the
based on if they went completely by their order, they would be 11th in the Western Conference. The only teams behind them would be Houston, who is right behind. They have Houston at number 19. They've got San Antonio at 21, Utah 24. You've got Portland at 27. That's the other teams in the West that are behind them. And again, this isn't on you. Like, you look at some of these power rankings, like, that's kind of like a lot of people seem to have the Grizzlies in that range, which I just don't get. I think, again, people have forgotten just how good the Grizzlies were when they were healthy. And even again last year, in the little bit of time where Ja Morant played, they won 2 out of every 3 games.
And swept a 4-game road trip on the West Coast.
Basically, in Ja's career, when he plays, the Grizzlies win 2 out of every 3 games. So I went to Vegas. I go.
You spend a lot of time in Vegas. I can tell.
I didn't actually physically go to Vegas, but for rankings purposes, I said, okay, let's see what Vegas thinks, because we trust Vegas, right? Like we trust the people in Vegas as setting lines. We're like, okay, these guys are pretty good at what they do. So if you go by win totals that they have set for this year in the Western Conference, OKC is number 1. They have them. Their number is 55.5, which makes sense. They were number 1 last year, and they've gotten better. Like, they figure to be really, really good. Now, what that means in the postseason, we'll see. But certainly, you expect them to be winning a whole bunch of basketball games. Denver and Minnesota are tied for second, both at 52.5 with their number. Then Dallas at 50.5 is 4th. 5th in the Western Conference by Vegas win totals, the Grizzlies, 47.5.
5th.
Yes. So we're talking with the Athletic, 11th in a power rankings, but Vegas at 47.5 wins has their number as the 5th most in the Western Conference. I think that's where the Grizzlies should be.
Yeah. Who's listed at the Athletics list over there?
Yeah.
Let's just trash that. Just trash that, man. I just don't get it.
Behind the Grizzlies, Phoenix and Sacramento, 46.5. The Pelicans, who again, they had Zach Harper from Athletic had as a brink of contention team, number 7 in the NBA.
Wow.
By Vegas, the Pelicans are 8th just in the Western Conference, 45.5. They've got the Lakers 44.5, Golden State 43.5, Houston 42.5, the Clippers 40.5. Then you drop down to San Antonio at 35.5, and then Portland 21.5 wins is their number right now.
Man.
And this is FanDuel. I got these numbers off of FanDuel. They do not list Utah right now because the uncertainty of the Lauri Markkanen trade.
Okay.
So they don't even have them on the board at this point. But I found it interesting just to compare a writer's opinion versus Vegas setting numbers where they have a lot to win or lose based on those numbers being correct. But they have 47.5 right now. Over or under? Which way would you go at 47.5 wins for the Grizzlies?
Over.
Really?
Over.
See, I would like to say over, and I would. If I had to bet one of them right now, I would go over. The only thing that worries me is health.
That's the only thing.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared after last year. Like, can these guys actually stay healthy or not? But if they're healthy, I absolutely think they go over 47.5 wins.
Yeah.
Although, again, you look at this Western Conference, I mean, you've got 11 of the 15, according to the numbers in Vegas, 11 of the 15 teams over 500.
It's not enough space for a playoff and a play-in.
So if by Vegas's numbers, if Vegas was accurate, let's say every team won their number, and obviously we got halves in here, but Houston, 42.5 wins, so over 500, would be not even in the play-in. Like, that's how good the West is.
Yes. But
again, I mean, the one thing with the Athletic that you can, I mean, I don't think it's crazy to say, like, they have one Eastern Conference team as an actual contender. The other 4 contenders in their mind are all Western Conference teams. It's brutal in the West. It's absolutely brutal.
I mean, again, like you said, this is not the only list that have the Grizzlies like in near the 20s.
Yeah.
There's been multiple lists.
Like most people, if you look at the power rankings that people are doing this time of year, seem to have the Grizzlies in that 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th range in the Western Conference. Like most of them have them as a play-in team or just outside of the play-in. Very few have them top 6 in the Western Conference right now.
Yeah.
Which I could understand the idea of you haven't seen it all. We haven't seen this team because we got very limited last year with Marcus Smart. Now Steven Adams is gone. You're bringing in a rookie center, all of that stuff. But again, I just go by the idea that when Ja Morant plays in his career, the Grizzlies win basically 2 out of every 3 games. They're winning 66%.
And they were on track to get into the play-in last year too.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not gonna. I don't see why that would suddenly change if Ja's playing, especially again when you consider the fact that Bane has gotten better, Jaren's gotten better. You now have Marcus Smart mixed in there, and you look at the depth. When you're talking regular season and those win totals, you look at the depth that you've added with like a guy like Vince Williams Jr., Gigi, if you have Kennard. So I'm more on Vegas' side than I am on the athletic side as far as that is concerned. This side of our program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Go to biggreenegg.com, get all the details about the Big Green Egg. 7 different sizes of eggs for you to choose from. All the egg accessories that can come with it to allow you to cook whatever it is that you're looking to make. You could bake a cake on the Big Green Egg. You can do whatever. It's unbelievable, the versatility it allows you to grill with. And again, we've got some beautiful weather coming up. It looks like this weekend, great opportunity to fire up the grill. Go check them out. Go to Ace Hardware stores here in town. They're distributors of the Big Green Egg. Hamilton Fireplace also carries the Big Green Egg. All the eggs, all the egg accessories, you can find it all. You can also, again, go to biggreenegg.com. They bring you hour number 1 of Sports 56 Mornings. Last night, Caitlin Clark set another WNBA record, even though, again, the Fever lost and cost my man his parlay. We'll talk about that when we come back. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For retro cruiser styling packed with modern innovations, riders of all skill levels choose a Honda Rebel. Incredible motorcycles with a stripped-down style and a full package of features. Both the 300 and the 500 offer compact power inside a lightweight frame. Combined with a low-slung seat, the Rebel is easy to start on. And with new colors from this year, they are impossible to ignore. Go to DeSoto Honda to check out the 2023 Honda Rebels. Cruisers with premium style and performance to enjoy every second. Use the street as a racetrack with the law with the owners.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg in East Memphis States. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with good temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched all-day wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get more Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Ace on the corner of South Flag Station and Post Road.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time. Free gun rentals with purchase of ammo and members lounge access. Top Gun 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Looking for
for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Raider Corey texts in, says it's the old out of sight, out of mind. Folks are sleeping on the Grizzlies, which is fine. Just stay healthy. Tony says with the Grizzlies' depth, we could probably skip the draft for the next 3 years.
I don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that. We'll see how the 3 guys from this year develop. But yeah, I mean, if those guys do develop into players, like rotation guys, again, and we're talking about Wells and Spencer, I mean, these second round guys, which obviously the Grizzlies have had some very good success with second round guys, but you can't count on that. But yeah, I mean, then you talk about the youth that they would have on this team in the rotation. I mean, yeah, they got a lot of really good young players. So last night in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark sets a WNBA record, not a rookie record, a WNBA record, with 19 assists to go with 24 points. But somehow the Fever lost to the worst team in the league, Dallas, 101-93. Not only was it a WNBA record for assists, it also, she scored or assisted on 66 of the points for the Fever. That's also a WNBA record. Diana Taurasi held that record with 65. Courtney Vandersloot held the old assist record with 18. The WNBA now they've got their All-Star game on Saturday, and then they're off for basically a month because of the Olympics. And then I found this out this morning. I don't understand this at all. But they've got the 3-point contest Friday night. And Caitlin Clark is not in it.
Really?
And neither is Sabrina Ionescu, who set the record last year and was so good that they brought her to the NBA All-Star game and had her go against Steph Curry in the NBA All-Star weekend. Neither one of those two is in the 3-point contest. What are we doing? What I was reading, they tried to reach out to the league to see if maybe they were invited and turned it down, which I don't understand why they would turn it down. That makes no sense. It's a 3-point contest, for goodness sake. It's not, and they're off for the next month. Well, Ionescu isn't because she's got to go. She's playing in the Olympics. But I mean, why? Caitlin Clark should be doing everything. Like, they should have her in everything going on All-Star Weekend.
She should be tired of the WNBA right about now.
She is your golden goose. What are you doing? Hell, I would have been less surprised if the 3-point contest was only Caitlin Clark versus Sabrina Ionescu, and there was nobody else involved. That I would be like, okay, that makes sense. But for neither one of those two to be in it, that blew my mind. I think they asked Caitlin Clark whether somebody, I think after the game loss or something, they asked her whether she had been invited to the 3-point contest, and she said, I don't know. Which it would seem like you would know if you were invited, for sure. So that tells me they did not, because if they asked her and she said no, then she would know that she was asked and told them no.
Right.
I'm like, that is like mind-blowing to me that she wouldn't be in the three. Again, they should. I don't even know what they all do on there. They got three-point shoot. I don't know if they have a skills challenge, any of that stuff. But there would be an open invitation for Caitlin Clark. You get to do whatever you want to do.
You want to spin the ball on your finger? Be my guest.
You want us to create a contest for you to participate in? We will do that. Tell us what we need to do to get you as involved as we possibly can in our all-star festivities. Just weird stuff as far as that is concerned. But nonetheless, I couldn't tell you one person involved in the three-point contest because the only two people that I would care to watch in the three-point contest are not in the three-point contest for the WNBA. Justin Thomas continues to lead. He is at 3 under par. He is in the clubhouse. He shot an opening round 68 all alone at 3 under par. As the first round continues, Tiger Woods will be teeing off in about, 35 minutes, about 40 minutes from now, a little over 40 minutes from now, Tiger Woods will tee off. Thomas with a 68. 3 guys in the clubhouse at 69. That's Alex Noren, Nikolai Hogard, and Justin Rose. Russell Henley and Maverick McNeely both at 2 under par. They are on the golf course. Henley through 15, McNeely through 11. Adam Scott and Matt Wallace both in the clubhouse at 1 under par. As we go down, Tony Finau, even par. Brian Harmon, the defending champion, even par. Terrell Hatton at even par. Jason Day and Ricky Fowler have just gotten their round started. They're at even par. John Rahm 1 over through 14. Robert McIntyre 1 over through 14. And let's see here. Where is Rory now? Rory having a rough go of it. Rory is at 5 over par through 13 holes. Max Homa, really good golfer, cool dude, everything else, but he has not gotten it done in majors. Bryson DeChambeau still 6 over par. He is through 14 holes of his opening round. As they are playing at Royal Troon over in Scotland. Surprisingly enough, it looks cold and windy and cloudy. I know, real surprise for the British Open. But guys are wearing jackets and sweaters, long sleeves. It's dark, it's gloomy. I think they've got some rain moving into the area, possibly. So they got normal British Open conditions for round number 1. Coming up in hour number 2, we head down to Dallas to kick off the hour. Brett Norsworthy down there. It's the final day of SEC Media Days. Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky, Texas A&M will be the 4 teams featured today, making the rounds down there. We'll talk with stats when we come back. Later in the show, in the 9 o'clock hour, Steve Moulton on Auburn, Trey Schapp on Arkansas. And in between, we've got Kerry Miller talking some Major League Baseball. So still a lot to get to over the final 2 hours as we got 1 hour in the books on this Thursday morning here on Sports 56 Mornings, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Volkswagen Germantown. Hey, McNate, how far back you moving on prices?
Way back, Randy. Doc told me you can take your pick. 2024 Teos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport. Gotta go back in time to the good old days at $275 a month.
Great Scott, McNate. Gossett Volkswagen on Germantown is really moving prices back.
That's right, Randy.
And I hear you got the 2024 Atlas Peak Editions going for $5,000 off MSRP, or you can get 1.9 for 60 months.
That's right, Randy. Your future's whatever you make of it, so let's get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
Ask for Marty to find out how much he can move you back on price. Hey, Marty, hit us with that Gossett Volkswagen locator.
7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
As you know, summertime is here. And for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with minor aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at
When we say that Bell Tavern, Memphis' perfect downtown neighborhood bar, is cool, we're not just talking about the temperature. Now, it is very cool in Bell Tavern this time of year, but it's also just straight up cool. The atmosphere is cool, the employees are cool, and the customers are cool. Bell Tavern isn't for people that feel compelled to act out whether their team is winning or losing. It's for people that act like grown-ups, cool grown-ups. That means if you go to Bell Tavern, you're cool. Lots of people go to big chain sports bars, but you could be one of the people that goes to Bell Tavern. That's cool.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's got a little bit busier in the last 15, 20 minutes out here on 240 as you work your way inbound out of Collierville. It looked like a minor crash on right when you come off 240 onto 385 Billmores Parkway before you get over to Ridgeway. Again, it's way over to the left-hand side. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The second hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you each and every day by James Gaddis Jewelers. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. Looking for that special diamond ring, that special wedding ring, or personally designed wedding set? You need to head over to James Gaddis Jewelers. They are full-service jewelers with 2-bench jewelers ready to serve you. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition, so they make sure there's a price point to suit everyone's budget. Perhaps you're looking for that special watch, custom-made jewelry of all types, gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants. So many choices at James Gaddis Jewelers, plus the romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. Layaway and financing is available. You want to sell your gold, silver, and diamonds? James Gaddis will give you a great price on that. Plus, if you need something appraised, James is a certified appraiser. Just head over to James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue, your family's jeweler.
It is indeed hour number 2 of Sports 56 Mornings, 8:03 the time here in the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. That is Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road. Got some bright sunshine out there right now, but there is expected to be clouds today. some possibility of rain, even maybe a thunderstorm, highs in the mid to upper 80s. And then the next couple of days, just absolutely perfect. Temperatures in the low 80s, sunshine tomorrow and Saturday. Somewhat the same on Sunday, although Sunday does have a little bit better chance for some rain in the forecast. But just an absolutely couple of perfect days coming up here weather-wise. And maybe we can avoid the rain today and make it a beautiful day today. It is day number 4 of SEC Media Days, the final day of this first SEC Media Days to feature, of course, Oklahoma and Texas as part of the conference. Today, the teams on hand are Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky, and Texas A&M. And, of course, on hand as well, as he has been all week, is our very own Brett Norsworthy. From Sportstime, you hear him every afternoon from 3 to 6 with Bryant Dacus. And he has been down there in Dallas this week. Stats, what's happening?
Good morning, Eli. I slept at the desk last night. There was no chance I was going to be late with you today.
I appreciate it. And, of course, we have great sponsors that have made it possible for you to be there all week as well.
Oh, we do, Eli. We appreciate them so much. Appreciate everybody, including what you do to start everything. The process starts in May and the desk and everything and reserving the spot and you and sales and everybody and Bryant and Zach and John and everybody at the station. But it takes this great list of sponsors like First National Bank and Trust, Jim's Place in Collierville, Gould's, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Wade Incorporated, the commissary in both Germantown and Collierville, Sissy's Log Cabin, Memphis Sports and Tourism, the official vehicle of SEC Media Days from Landers Ford, Ronnie Grizzani's, and Jimmy McElroy and Associates. And Jimmy McElroy, if you need any assistance, if you're in financial trouble and need some help, call Jimmy McElroy at McElroy Associates at 901-363-7283. At McElroy and Associates, they understand that bad things sometimes happen to really good people. Jimmy and his staff have helped thousands of people overcome financial issues in 30-plus years of experience. They're licensed in Tennessee and in Mississippi. They make this process as easy as possible. It's tough when you get there, but they will help navigate you through it. Contact them today to find out how you can get a fresh start. That's Jimmy McElroy and Associates at 901-363-7283.
You know, the 4 teams that are on hand today, it's an interesting group because I think there's a lot of questions about all 4 of these teams.
That is a great take. You got Sam Pittman that is 23 and 25 in 4 years. I would say overall a good job resurrecting Arkansas football from the despair of Chad Morris. You got new at A&M. You've got the senior status coach in the SEC in Mark Stoops, and he outlasted Cal at Kentucky. And then you got Hugh Freeze in his second year at Auburn in his second SEC stop. But for the Razorbacks, what got them last year, Eli, is poor offensive play, and their fans seeing it in front of them at home. 7-3 loss at Fayetteville, a 48-10 loss at Fayetteville, and then I was there the day after Thanksgiving for 48-14. In truly a historically bad low point for Razorback football, maybe the worst against a league opponent in any league they've ever been in, against a really good Mizzou team, but that was enough for a lot of people to have to see that home. They played close on the road against Ole Miss and Alabama, but when your fans have to endure that, it makes for a long offseason.
When you left that Missouri game, did you think Sam Pittman would be back?
I did, only because it broke a little bit a day or two. Remember, it was that Thanksgiving week, and we know that is Jimmy Sexton time of year and coaching carousel time of year, and it broke a day or two before that Hunter had announced it. I know he got out in front of it because they feared that kind of a result, and then the groundswell would have been overwhelming. It probably too much for them to overcome and not have to make a move. So they got a little bit out in front of it that Wednesday, maybe even to Thanksgiving morning for the game on Friday. So he was saved before that. I don't know that he could have saved himself if they hadn't have gotten in front of it. And for this year, the Arkansas guys, I know you can visit with Trey Shapp in about an hour or so. I'm sorry, at 9:30. They say that if Sam Pittman has a good year, 7-8 wins, that he might retire. He's in his early 60s, been around the block, at a lot of places as assistant coach. And I think overall a pretty good job at Arkansas. It was that threadbare when he got it. A bad year, there's no way he can withstand that.
Texas A&M, we've gone through the years of Jimbo Fisher where every year a lot was expected, the recruiting classes, all the talent, everything else. Well, he's gone now. Elko comes in, and nobody's talking about Texas A&M. I don't know what to expect out of Texas A&M now.
I know they got a really good quarterback that Bobby Petrino made a lot better last year in Connor Wegman. And the job Bobby Petrino did at A&M with three different quarterbacks all out because of injury, kind of a revolving door there, but he made every one of them work, including Wegman, and he set it up for Wegman to really excel in year one for Mike Elko. I'm with you. It's hard to be very bullish on A&M because they've just scalded everybody the last few years. I mean, I think a couple years in a row I've been 9-3, 10-2 minimum on A&M, and they don't even get close to that. Now this change for Mike Elko feels like a R.C. Slocum type fit. That's what they hope that he's kind of a model of. They sure don't want him to be Jimbo, and they sure don't want him to be Kevin Sumlin. So you have to go back a while to the really popular A&M coach, and they've tried everything. They tried Mike Sherman from the NFL. They tried Kevin Sumlin, and he tapped into Johnny. And when they first came into the SEC, it worked for a little while. And then Jimbo was just colossal disaster, wasn't it? One of the biggest swings and misses in the history of college football.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, when you consider the money that they ended up paying him and what they got out of that, I mean, it was, absolutely awful.
And national championship coach that just couldn't get out of neutral at A&M.
Then you got Auburn, as you mentioned, Hugh Freeze in his second year now. And certainly you expect Hugh Freeze to be able to win. Like, that's what he does. He goes places, he wins. But I don't have a whole lot of faith in Peyton Thorne. I don't think he's got his quarterback yet. So I think it could still be a rough time for Auburn.
I agree, and we know he can coach that position. Wherever he's been, high school, Lambeth, Arkansas State, every stop, Liberty, he can coach that quarterback position. But last year, he got Peyton Thorne a little bit better, but by the end of the year, they were kind of ground and pound with Jaquez Hunter from Philadelphia, Mississippi, Jarquez Hunter, who really came on in mid to late in the year, ran the ball well. That's not what Hugh Freeze wants to do. First, he wants to run it some, but he wants to fog it around and have a real spread attack offense. It makes me appreciate, Eli, back to what he did in his first few years at Ole Miss, because Ole Miss he wasn't left a lot by the previous staff, and he brought in Bo Wallace, and how Bo Wallace stabilized Ole Miss at the quarterback position. He still hadn't gotten that at Auburn.
And then Kentucky, Mark Stoops, continues to, I guess, overachieve there, but they've got question marks. Vandegrift comes over from Georgia at quarterback. Like they're again a team with, while they've been good and you expect them to figure out a way to win games because that's what Stoops does. Like there are again a lot of question marks with Kentucky.
A lot of question marks. It's always they're kind of on the edge every year. Are they 5-7? Or are they 7-5? And sometimes they overachieve and go above that, and that keeps him in good shape there. There's been one or two patches that he almost would be out and he had to save himself, and then he had the very famous dust up with John Calipari, and that takes a set to take on a basketball coach at Kentucky, and Stoops didn't back down from it. Now in his 11th year, senior status of coaches in the SEC, only 8 over 500, but that's acceptable at Kentucky, and that's not a slight. I think that would be acceptable at a couple places in the SEC with a coach over 11 years to be 8 over 500.
Yeah,
it should be.
Yes,
instead of chewing through coaches.
Yeah, especially when you're talking SEC. And a place like Kentucky, absolutely, they're very much acceptable. Earlier in the week when Greg Sankey talked and the whole thing of, I guess, the more expansion came up, and I don't know if there's that quote, but basically talking about we're happy with where we are. We're not looking for that. There's reports of the
16,
the Big Ten isn't interested in Florida State or Clemson if the ACC breaks up. Do you believe that? Like if these lawsuits are successful and Florida State and Clemson found a way out of the ACC, do you really believe the SEC and Big Ten are not interested in adding them?
No, I don't believe it, Eli, because I have a track record of them saying one thing and them doing another. And when somebody shows you who they are, you better believe them. Now, I like Greg Sankey. He was very kind to join us yesterday. I think it's up at our featured audio at sports56whbq.com. And he's having to say the political things because you can't be viewed as a vulture because that might land you in a lawsuit.
Yes, it could. Yeah. And then they
and legal bills are undefeated.
Yeah, well, listen, hey, nobody, I mean, the billable hours in the world of college sports these days is absolutely unbelievable. Do you think
it really is.
Do you think there's any chance that Florida State or Clemson or both or whatever, that they find a way out right now with these lawsuits?
Yes, I do, because when they get ready to go, when they get ready to leave, they're gone, and there's no keeping them there. When the divorce is about to happen, there's no fixing it. And Florida State's been wanting to get out. Their AD, Michael Alford, is straight from the Alabama building and the Alabama administration, and he knows they're leaving a lot of money on the table, and they can't keep up. They can't keep up with Florida, and they can't keep up with Central Florida or the U, and he's got to do something different. They're not spending what they're spending on remodeling Doak Campbell, and Tiger fans will see that when they go down there. It's a construction zone, just like Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium is undergoing. So, the Tigers aren't alone in that. Vanderbilt's having to do it. A&M had to do it. I don't know why people want to tweet that and kind of deride people over stadium reconstruction. It's not like you're putting a new roof on your house. I mean, you don't do that in a week's time. It takes years to tear down one side and build another. But they're doing that at FSU for a reason. They want to go big time. And I don't believe the Big Ten at all, saying they don't want them, because they want to come south for their footprint. And I think that would work. They're at 18 now. If they got Florida State, that would be 19. Well, you don't want to stay on an odd number. Clemson seems like a natural. But you go way back, Eli, to when the SEC expanded with Arkansas and South Carolina, the two invitations. It was Arkansas first because of the power of Coach Brawls, and second was Florida State because what they had built, what they were building, and the power of Coach Bobby Bowden. And FSU turned down the SEC and really sent the SEC into a scramble to kind of find South Carolina on the fly.
Talk about some bad decisions. Some bad decisions that have been made.
Turn down Augusta National, guys.
If the ACC were to if those teams find their way out, do you believe Memphis would end up in the ACC?
I think Memphis has good options. The Big 12 has always been that carrot, hasn't it? But I think it's there. I think it's there right now, regardless of what shakes out. But I think the ACC is natural. And I think Dr. Scott was hired to really help on those lines, and he spoke openly about it. He hadn't ducked a thing. I love the start he has. And that's always great when you're 0-0 before you get started, even as an administrator. But I like everything I've seen so far in him, and I love that committee that did the hiring. And I like that Dr. Hargrave let the committee do their work. They presented to him a name, and he said, hire the man. And I think they hired a really good one. On his qualifications, and one of his qualifications is his very great relationship with the ACC. Now, the ACC that the Tigers may eventually join, it may not be Tobacco Road. It may not be the ACC of ACC basketball tournament fame in Greensboro and places like that, but I'll still take it.
Well, that's the thing. And again, we don't know if this all happens, like who would all leave, but still, even with whatever's going to be left, it's certainly way better than what they have right now in the AAC with what's left after all of their teams departed.
Yeah, I think the number, regardless of what conference flag you're playing under, I think the number is either 60 on the low side, maybe shaking out to 70, and on the very high end, 80. That's going to end up being the football playing division, the one that matters, that plays for the playoffs at the end of the year. That's going to be the one that really shakes out. And I know the Tigers are in at 70 and 80, and at 60, that could be problematical.
So, again, today the final day down there. This first year with Texas and Oklahoma involved. It's in Dallas, obviously, with that idea that those teams are involved. overall, what's this SEC Media Days been like?
You know my grading. I never do pluses or minuses. This is an A. If I had to do a plus or minus, it would be A plus. Fantastic. Eli, very much a setup like we had at Houston at the Convention Center in downtown Houston. This is not the Convention Center. This is just a hotel with a huge ballroom and convention area, but it's very much like that. Expansive Radio Row, plenty of room for the SEC network. They're not going to these bigger places for Radio Row. They're going to the bigger places for Peter Burns and Chris Doring's show in the morning, SEC Now, and for Paul Feinbaum in the afternoon, and for the ESPN hits throughout the day. And they need a lot of room for the boom cameras and for the stages and things like that. That's why they just simply outgrew the Winfrey in Birmingham.
What's it like seeing Nick Saban as a media member?
I think it's just been great. I love him to death, and to see him kind of mixing and mingling, and I won't say being one of us, because he's not one of us. He's in a league. He's in a league of his own. But I think he's having fun with it and really throwing himself into it. I've been told that he has just spent all summer studying and trying to get ready and wanting to be great at it, and that's what's made him so good. Perfectionist and a list of guys, and it's been fun to see him relax and to see everybody kind of paying tribute to him. I said yesterday, Eli, when we watched the Memorial Golf Tournament at Muirfield Village in Dublin, Ohio, and you see all the players that come off the 18th green, take their hats off, shake hands with Jack Nicklaus, pay respect to Barbara Nicklaus. You're almost, and they used to do it here in Dallas at the Byron Nelson with Lord Byron Nelson and Peggy Nelson. You're almost seeing that respect from all these coaches to go by, and this is a little overdone, but I'm going to say it, go by and kiss the ring and see Coach Nick Saban and what he accomplished. And I think a lot of them are going by and wanting to make sure. Now, you're really retired, aren't you? Well, please don't come back.
Well, and along that line, I was going to ask, do you think there's any chance, that he's around the game, he sees this, and and he kind of goes, you know what? While this is cool, I'm still around the game. I miss that part of it, and he does come back at some point?
Always a chance. Always a chance. Bill Belichick is itching to get back. I think Bill Belichick's probably stunned. He's not at a camp right now getting ready for it. Does it ever really get out of their system, Eli? That's what they do. That's what they were born to do. And he has not complained, but I think maybe a little bit maudlin spoken about. Come August, he's used to having that straw hat on and a clipboard and a whistle and camp starting. Bill Belichick told people at the Manning Passing Academy it would be the first August since he was 7 years old he wasn't at football practice.
Wow.
They got to have it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what, because to me, I still think even if Nick Saban doesn't want to get back into college because of all of the NIL and transfer portal, he's just soured on that. What about maybe taking that other shot at the NFL again? Trying to prove hey, the last time I was there, that was a bit of a fluke. I want to go prove that I can do the NFL thing.
I would not put it at 0. I would not. But now, I sure wouldn't put it at 100.
Yeah.
But I think there's a chance just to listen. That owner, call his representation and say, hey, just what would it take? How do we get to the starting point? I wouldn't rule. I think it's single digit, but it's not 0.
And it's still one of the great what ifs. If the Dolphins had signed Drew Brees, what would have happened? What would have happened with Nick Saban and that? And the history of college football from there, because if he doesn't go to what would have happened had they said, yes, we're going to go with Drew Brees?
The what ifs are so great. The Drew Brees what if instead their medical said his shoulder is wrecked, and he goes on and makes the New Orleans Saints what they are as a franchise. They signed Dante Culpepper instead. That wasn't so bad then. Didn't work out very well. Alabama, Rich Rodriguez had accepted the Alabama job. I still have the press release. They sent it out. He was going to be named, and his wife got cold feet. She didn't want to do it. So they make another run at Coach Saban, and between Mal Moore kind of working Miss Terry, they finally get him to leave. But here's a what if. What if he never leaves LSU? it would have made the most insufferable fans ever more insufferable. Because everything he won at Bama, he was going to win there.
Oh, yeah.
He built it so well at LSU that Les Miles lived off of it, and to a degree, Ed Orgeron lived off of it.
Yeah, that's I can't imagine how many he would have racked up at LSU if he had just stayed there. Holy cow!
Oh, can you imagine them?
That would have been crazy.
And I say that lovingly about him.
Well, Stats, great job as always down there at SEC Media Days this week. Of course, you could hear Stats again this afternoon from 3 until 6 with Bryant Dacus, with plenty more from down in Dallas. And again, we got to say a big thank you to those great sponsors making it possible for you to be there.
We sure do. Jimmy McElroy and Associates, Jason's Deli, Landers Ford in Collierville, Ronnie Grizzani's, Sissy's Log Cabin, the Commissary in Germantown and in Collierville, Memphis Sports and Tourism Council, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Wade Incorporated, Gould's, Jim's Place in Collierville, and First National Bank and Trust.
Stats, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you, Eli.
That is Brett Norsworthy down in Dallas, day number 4 of SEC Media Days. We'll head back down to Dallas in the 9 o'clock hour today. Steve Moulton from 97.7 The Zone in Huntsville will join us to talk some Auburn. Trey Schapp from 103.7 The Buzz in Little Rock joins us to talk Arkansas in the 9 o'clock hour. Up next, we're going to be talking some Major League Baseball. Kerry Miller will join us. Bleacher Report is doing their top 50 players of the modern era. This is the very modern era. They're talking about the wild card era, basically, of Major League Baseball. Kerry was one of the voters on that, so we'll talk about that coming up and all things Major League Baseball. Moving can be stressful, but when you have the professionals to help you, to do it for you, well, that's a lot of that stress taken off of you. Don't try and do it yourself. Don't ask your friends. Get the experts. Get Black Tie Moving. 901-316-6196 or blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk to the experts. Talk to the professionals at Black Tie. They'll come up with a plan working with you to fit your needs and fit your budget as well. And you do get a no-obligation quote up front from the folks at Black Tie Moving. Again, 901-316-6196 or go to the website at blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Get the professionals on your side when you've got that move coming up. Talk to the folks at Black Tie Moving. Kerry Miller up next, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Wash your house, wash your office building? Impossible! Not call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash, 901-524-6799 or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
Cork and Barrel in Hernando, Mississippi, a Southern gem for over 15 years. Check out their bigger, better, bolder new location, 2595 McInvale Road, Hernando. Huge selection, incredible pricing. Choose from hundreds of bourbons, tequilas, rum, scotch, and vodka. Over 1,000 wines from fine and very simple picnic wines. At Cork and Barrel, it's all about serving you. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 10, where the fun begins and the liquor and wine never end. Cork and Barrel, 2595 McInvale Road, I-55, Hernando, exit 280.
As you know, summertime is here. And for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with minor aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease fees or condition.
All 650 acquisition fee, 20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE 794-066, MSRP 21,820, Telluride RG 543,666, MSRP 39,835, EV9 R602, 29,603, MSRP 61,035. Includes all rebates and incentives and PF 695. Includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 7/31/24. Dealer stock only.
I got Jeff Allen on the line, Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, dude, you ready to rock our world?
You better believe it, Randy. How about 41 MPG Highway in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. 2024 Kia Telluride S, $379 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month in a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite, or get 0% for 48 months, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month leases.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Or online, KiaMountMoriah.com. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still some volume out here on Bill Morris Parkway coming inbound, passing Riverdale. They were wrapping up that wreck a few minutes ago on 385 there, Bill Morris Parkway going eastbound right before you get to Ridgeway. It has increased with a little bit more volume over here on 40 westbound, let's say from Germantown Parkway all the way up to Sycamore View Road. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversions. Log on today, havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, 8:30 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. Greg will be back on the program tomorrow. It's a beautiful start to the day. Again, there is a chance of some rain, possibly a thunderstorm or two this afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s. And then tomorrow, Saturday, expected to be beautiful, much cooler, less humid. Highs in the low 80s. Lots of sunshine. Going to be a couple of absolutely perfect days coming up. Let's talk some baseball.
It's time to talk some baseball. Joining Greg and Eli is Kerry Miller from the Bleacher Report. Here's Kerry with Greg and Eli.
He is indeed Kerry Miller from the Bleacher Report. Follow him on Twitter at Carrance James. Joins us each and every Thursday. Hey, Kerry, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. You enjoying the All-Star break?
Yeah, there's nothing going on. I don't know what to do when I don't wake up and check my fantasy lineup first thing in the morning. It's weird.
What did you think of the All-Star game?
I thought it was awesome that Jarren Duran, the by far biggest snub of the first round of voting, was the MVP. I think it's fun when it works out that way. It was nice that Shohei Ohtani got to homer. That's good for the game. The uniforms were god-awful, and I hope those are burned somewhere. But, standard fare. I thought the Derby was a little underwhelming compared to recent years, but I think it was a good week all in all.
Skeens did his thing, you got to see him versus Aaron Judge in that first inning. He didn't get any strikeouts, but he was hitting the triple digits and doing what you expect out of him. Yeah,
it was. I don't know why it became such a big deal when he said that he almost blacked out there. Like I would hope that's the case. Dude was in college a year ago.
Yeah,
they had. Like Juan Soto was mic'd up. I don't know if you saw that video that kind of went viral, but 5 minutes of him just running around like a kid in a candy store. Like he's won a World Series. He won the Derby last year. Like he's done these All-Star festivities 4 or 5 times or something like that, and even he's still like crazy about it. So I would hope that Skeens, I know he's kind of an alien with what he's been able to do so far this season, but he's proved he's somewhat mortal.
You mentioned Shohei and the home run he hits, and that's one of the things that still amazes me is like it's one thing for like fans to be amazed at how good Shohei is, but like these players who are like the best of the best. Like these are the all-stars. Like even they, like you see the reactions and the way they talk about him, and like even they are blown away by Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, anytime somebody is mic'd up for an Ohtani home run, it's like when guys are courtside watching the slam dunk contest, right? They're just everybody's freaking out about how incredible it is, and it is. I mean, I believe he's hit the longest home run of the season, 476. Granted, it was in Colorado, so it had a little bit of an altitude factor involved, but you just expect that from him and Judge at this point to just be hitting these mammoth home runs. And again, it was cool that Ohtani got to do that. I saw that made him the first player ever to win an All-Star game as a pitcher and also hit a home run in the All-Star game. So, of course he did. Why not?
Why? He's done everything else. Is there any reason you think that the American League is so dominant right now in All-Star games?
No, I have no clue. You'd think it'd be, completely random. Maybe it is, and this is just a run on the roulette wheel where we're hitting black 9 times in a row or whatever. But yeah, it's been a pretty crazy run. It's up there with. Do the Ravens still have that preseason winning streak that they had for forever?
Lost
I don't
one
know.
last year. I think they lost one last year at the very end of last year's preseason.
It's at that level of why that makes no sense. But yeah, they find a way. I don't think it's any difference in skill set. Obviously, now that we have the universal DH, that's not a factor anymore either. So it's just kind of wild.
So you guys at Bleacher Report have been releasing your top 50 players of the wild card era. So going back to 1995, and you're one of the guys on the committee, I guess, of putting this together, one of the voters. So tell, first of all, what were the kind of the stipulations that you're looking at and how you tried to vote and put together a top 50 here?
Yeah, the toughest part I think that we kept kind of discussing was the beginning and end of it, not where we were going to have it. We decided that after the strike was going to be the cut line, but how much do you really weigh what they did before 94? Mm-hmm. Greg Maddux won several of his Cy Youngs then. One of Frank Thomas's MVPs was before then. So it's that kind of stuff. And then how much do we project the guys who are still, like Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, Shohei, who are, 30, should still have 3, 4, 5 really good years left. We'd like this to have a shelf life, so we kind of want to project what those guys are going to do. So that was probably the toughest part, and then obviously what the heck you do with the steroid guys. Spoiler alert: Barry Bonds is very near the top of the list, but then we had Sammy Sosa. We ended up leaving him out entirely. He was an honorable mention, but McGuire made the cut, and believe me, we see the comments. A lot of people are confused on where we drew the line on some of those steroid guys, and that's really discussing baseball the last 30 years as a whole. So of course it was tough for us in this exercise.
When you guys were, there was 6 or 8 voters, I think, that doing this for you.
Yeah, I think 8. 4 of us are writing. We had a couple of editors, a couple of the video guys who also did some voting as well.
So were you, as far as the steroid players, were you told don't, or is it each person can kind of take it for what they want and do it their own way based on how much they weigh the steroids?
Yeah, the latter. We weren't, told, hey, don't count Sosa or anything like that. It was just kind of your own discretion. And I think for a lot of us, it kind of came down to how good was the beginning of your career if you got busted for steroids, mm-hmm. right? Like Sammy Sosa, his first 6 years, he was nothing. And then magically he was a god from 28 on. So I think whereas McGuire hit 49 home runs as a rookie, granted that might just mean he was taking steroids since he was 19 instead of started them at 27. But again, it's all just kind of drawing that line. And I think more so than penalizing the steroid guys, I think we maybe overvalued a little the guys who never got implicated in it, right? Griffey's going to be in the top 5, even though he was always injured, and Jim Tomei made it into the top 30, one of those guys who was never implicated in steroids. So I think that's kind of where it came as a factor more so than, knocking down the guys who did get busted, except for Robinson Cano, who got popped twice. He didn't make the top 50, even though there was an 8-year stretch where he was arguably the best player in baseball.
And you guys still have not released. I guess today you're releasing down to what, number 11, and then tomorrow there'll be the top 10 released?
Correct. Yeah, 20 through 11 came out today, and I'll tell you what. I haven't checked the comments today. I don't even know if it's like on the app yet. I think technically it publishes at 7. I don't know when it gets programmed. I don't understand any of that stuff. But yesterday when we had Bryce Harper at 26 and Frank Thomas at 27, holy cow, people lost their minds over that one. So it's creating a conversation, if nothing else.
I'm assuming they must release them like one at a time, because I'm on the thing right now, and I got to Derek Jeter at 16, but there's no 15 yet.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it's supposed to be 10 at a time, but maybe I think they have to be manually published one slide at a time, so maybe it'll be,
okay.
It's not like we're not writing them on the fly. We wrote them like 2 weeks ago. But.
Yeah, I was like, because I got to it, I'm like, what? Okay, I got Jeter. Like, where's number 15? And I keep going. I'm like, nope, there's not here. So I was like, oh, they must be just publishing on them, like one at a time until it'll be coming up here shortly or whatever. But I mean,
I will say, I think we spent more time. We did a couple of Zoom calls, and then we voted, individually, put it all together in a spreadsheet, whatever. But in the Zoom calls, I think we spent more time talking about Jeter than anybody else. Like, we were like, he's got to be up there, but he can't be top 10. He wasn't that good. He was, I don't know why Jeter sparked such a debate, but I think we landed at a good spot with him.
You have David Ortiz at 17, and that was one that, like, for guys who were mainly DHs, how do you kind of weigh that?
Yeah, that was. We're also going to have a roundtable article. I think there were 10 questions where the four of us each gave a response to certain questions. And one of them was, who do you think was overrated the most? And Ortiz was my answer for that. And, no disrespect, the guy had like a 1,400 OPS in his career in the World Series. Like that was a factor for sure. That's how, Jeter got up there so high. The postseason played in a big way. But yeah, he didn't play defense. And his OPS for his career was below that of like, Larry Walker, Todd Helton, guys who did play defense and won Gold Gloves playing defense, but he ended up higher than them on the list. I thought that was weird. I think we maybe overstated his clutch gene that he had in October. But yeah, the DHs were tough. I guess it hasn't updated yet. I believe we have Ohtani at 11. He was also, aside from Jeter, maybe the biggest discussion that we ended up having, because I think no matter where you land in Ohtani, it was going to be, people are going to complain one way or the other that he's both too high and too low.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you about him because, I mean, obviously it's still very young in the career, but what he continues to do and the fact that you throw in what he's done as a pitcher already, even though not pitching this year, like that, that would, to me, trying to project him, everything else, like that is a difficult one to figure out where to place.
Yeah, and we said that, cultural impact was part of it, and I don't know if that was just something that we kind of said to make sure that Griffey got as high on the list as possible. that played a big part for Ohtani, too, because obviously he's the international superstar, maybe one of the biggest in baseball history, so that helped him get up there, even though, certainly his career games played is, pales in comparison to everybody else in the top 10.
And I've tried, I have gone through it, like, and looked at it and everything else, but I haven't really like processed it in my brain. Because I'm thinking like the guys, I'm obviously Griffey, I'm assuming Pujols, Bonds, A-Rod. Like, are there, like, what pitchers are going to be in the, without giving them necessarily your whole order, like, what pitchers are up there at the top?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got, I want to say Kershaw, Verlander, and Scherzer. If they're not already there, they're coming really soon. They're somewhere in the teens. And then, Maddox, Clemens, Pedro, they'll all be
Pedro,
up there.
Yeah, that's right.
There might be one I'm forgetting, too. But, yeah, there were a decent number of pitchers at the top of the list. I thought that would be, more heavily weighted towards batters. I was surprised we ended up with at least 6 in the top 15.
Yeah, because I was trying to think. I was like, but they think about Pedro too in that group. I was also a little. I thought Ichiro. He's at 18. I thought he would be a little higher, honestly.
Yeah, we did have one rogue voter who had Ichiro down at like 41. I don't know what that was about. That kind of brought him down a little bit. So this was the brainchild of one of our our boss is also, he takes wrestling. They did this a while back, the top 50 wrestlers of all time. and they had an issue where, somebody had the Rock outside the top 20, and that ended up him outside the top 5. That became it almost invalidated the entire exercise for them. I was worried we might have something like that too, but I think most of us had Ichiro around 12 or 13, but then the end result, he barely made the top 20. But again, one of those cultural impact guys. I mean, he was incredible. If he's not the only player to win both Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year, he's one of 2 or 3 in MLB history. I think the fact that we didn't include, outside of MLB numbers, what Ohtani did before coming to America didn't count. What Ichiro did, and he came as a 29-year-old rookie, so that was a big chunk of his prime missing. Still was incredible for the time he was here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You wonder what if he had come over at 22, 23, what kind of numbers he would have put up here. But he could have been insane, the number of hits. Yeah,
I wonder if starting his career here would have also made him more of a home run hitter as opposed to a slap hitter. I don't know, because he had that power when he wanted to. He could smack one, but he just always prioritized getting on base. I mean, it's a shame he didn't play for Billy Beane because he loved his OBP.
Well, it's an interesting list. I mean, I can't even imagine trying to put together and vote on this stuff because, as you said, all of the things you're trying to compare and weigh and everything else, and trying to do that is a thankless task. But it's been interesting to see the list come out, and I'm interested to see how 1 through 10 fall when that comes out tomorrow. But you can check that out, folks, at BleacherReport.com. It's their top 50 players of the modern era, and by again modern era, we're talking the wild card era, starting in 1995. He is Kerry Miller, joins us each and every Thursday to talk Major League Baseball. You can follow him on X at Carence James. Thank you very much, Kerry. We'll talk to you again next Thursday.
And it will be all trade deadline talk, I assume, but I'm looking forward to it. Take care, Eli.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we will be zeroing in on the trade deadline when we talk to Kerry next week. Sunrise, when it comes to breakfast, folks, you are not going to find better breakfast in Memphis than you'll find at Sunrise. It's just bottom line. There is no better breakfast place. I will stand on that. From their unbelievable biscuit sandwiches with those big old square house-made biscuits with the bacon, egg, and cheese, or sausage, egg, and cheese, or my favorite, the P-Love with that fried bologna, egg, and cheese on there. Maybe it's a breakfast bowl. Maybe it's the kitchen sink. Whatever it is, their breakfast is absolutely out of this world. Great lunch as well. Not to disrespect the lunch, but the breakfast is just so out of this world that sometimes people forget about how good the lunch is. Great sandwiches and salads. They've got the French dip, which I absolutely love on that lunch menu. Bacon cheeseburger, all kinds of great stuff on the lunch menu as well. Go to sunrise901.com. You can see the menu. You can order online for pickup. Make it very easy. You place your order. You pay for it online. Then when you get there, you just pop in the door, little side door there, grab your food, and you are on your way. Very quick, very easy way to do it if you want to grab some breakfast on the way to work and not be delayed at all. Sunrise is located 670 Jefferson Avenue. That's the original. And then Sunrise East is on Poplar Avenue in East Memphis. Check them out again, sunrise901.com. Back to wrap up hour number 2. The Tigers have announced their themes for their home football games this season. We'll tell you what those are when we come back. Sport 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsofMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quirky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Listen up.
Gossett Volkswagen, Germantown. Hey, McNate, how far back you moving on prices?
Way back, Randy. Doc told me you can take your pick. 2024 Teos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport. Gotta go back in time to the good old days at $275 a month.
Great Scott, McNate. Gossett Volkswagen on Germantown is really moving prices back.
That's right, Randy.
And I hear you got the 2024 Atlas Peak Editions going for $5,000 off MSRP, or you can get 1.9 for 60 months.
That's right, Randy. Your future's whatever you make of it, so let's get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
Ask for Marty to find out how much he can move you back on price. Hey, Marty, hit us with that Gossett Volkswagen locator.
7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
You watch sports. You listen to sports. Now let's talk sports. Well, not anymore, because Sports 56 is opening the airwaves overnight. From 12 midnight till 6 a.m. for people like you to talk sports during your own 1-hour radio talk show on Sports After Dark. For 1 hour, tell us what's really on your mind regarding sports. Your favorite sports team, favorite player, discuss pre-games, post-games, all games. Let's talk. Orientation is required. Interested applicants must contact the podcast center at gmail.com or call 901-468-3097. That's the podcast center at gmail.com or 901-468-3097. Amateur and professional talk show hosts encouraged to apply.
Required orientation is Saturday, July 20th, or you can take it online at your leisure at the podcast center, Memphis.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Justin Thomas, your leader, shot a 3-under today, round 1 of the British Open. The only guy at 3-under par, as he birdied his last 2 holes to get there. Tiger Woods is officially underway in his round. Teed off about 14 minutes or so ago. I did not see what he did on his first hole. Not had a chance to see that. But Justin Thomas with a 1-shot lead over 5 golfers. Alex Noren, Nikolai Hogard, Justin Rose, Russell Henley, all in the clubhouse at 2 under par. Sepp Straka 2 under par through his first 5 holes on the day. You got Adam Scott, Matt Wallace, and Chris Kirk all in the clubhouse at 1 under par. Some guys struggling like Rory McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau. DeChambeau now at 5 over through 17. Rory McIlroy 6 over through 15. Ricky Fowler 6 over through 5 holes. Fowler, who right now is not looking good to make it to Memphis in the playoffs. And not looking needed it. It would have been nice to have a good tournament this week. He doubled 2, doubled 3, bogeyed 4, and bogeyed 5. So after an opening par, he is 6 over through 5 holes. John Daly shot an 82 today.
Ooh.
He is tied for last place, I believe.
Tiger's even through 1, by the way.
Oh, he did par number 1. Okay. Yeah, John Daly and Todd Hamilton, 2 of the former champions, both at 11 over par, 82s today at Royal Troon. Yesterday, the Memphis Tigers, University of Memphis, announced themes for their home football games this season. The opener on August 31st against North Alabama will be the 9:01 game. The following week against Troy will be a 1993 team reunion. It includes Isaac Bruce. On September the 28th against Middle Tennessee State will be Kids Day. Then on October 19th against North Texas, the ever-popular Wrestling Day. Always love the wrestling here in Memphis, and that'll be on October 19th against North Texas. The following week against Charlotte will be the homecoming game. November 8th against Rice will be Military Appreciation and Blackout. And then on the 16th of November against UAB, of course, it'll be Senior Day with the final home game. And, of course, also, when you're playing UAB, it's the Battle for the Bones. Defending that Bones trophy against Trent Dilfer and the Blazers. Speaking of the University of Memphis, Saturday night at the Redbirds game, it'll be U of M night. They're going to be giving away actually a basketball jersey, a Redbirds-themed basketball jersey. But you can meet and greet and talk and get some autographs and stuff with University of Memphis basketball players Tyrese Hunter, P.J. Haggerty, Dane Danger, Colby Rogers, and Tyreek Smith. So those new transfer guys, they'll be out at the Redbirds game on Saturday night talking with fans. They'll also be doing some stuff down on the field between innings, stuff like that. But you can do they're going to do a little meet and greet that you can talk with those guys. Also, Seth Hennigan from the football team is going to be there. That'll be Saturday night as the Redbirds take on the Iowa Cubs. 6:35 is the game time for that one. Coming up in our final hour today, we're going to head back down to Dallas, talk some more SEC football. Steve Moulton from 97.7 The Zone in Huntsville, Alabama, will join us to talk a little bit about Auburn, who's one of the teams making their rounds today down in Dallas. And then at 9:30, Trey Schapp from 103.7 The Buzz in Little Rock will join us to talk Arkansas, as Sam Pittman and company are also on display today down in Dallas. It's Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky, and Texas A&M, the four teams that are on hand today. We talked to Brett Norsworthy earlier in the program from down there in Dallas, Texas. And we'll be talking a lot more about it coming up in our final hour. And again, I want to say a big thank you to all of our great sponsors of our coverage from Dallas this week, as this is the final day of SEC Media Days. First National Bank and Trust, Gould's, Jim's Place in Collierville, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Wade Incorporated, the Commissary in Germantown and Collierville, Sissy's Log Cabin, the Memphis Sports and Tourism Council, Ronnie Grisani's, Jimmy McElroy and Associates, Landers Ford, and Jason's Deli, bringing you our coverage from Dallas this week. And Stats has been down there doing a fantastic job for us, and we look forward to talking to a couple of guys, and Steve Moulton and Trey Schapp, in our final hour today. That's going to do it for hour number 2. Hour number 3 kicks off with Steve Moulton talking some Auburn Tigers when we come back here on this Thursday morning, Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Hey everybody, together let's drive to the beach, to the lake, to the mountains, to anywhere in what you really want to drive in. I'm out here at Olive Branch at All-Star Chevy. Hundreds of new and pre-owned Silverados are out here right now, some marked 12% off invoice. Add up all the All-Star special discounts and look for Costco member deals. It's one sweet buyer's market with financing as low as 1.9. No payments for 90 days on a bunch of new All-Star Chevys. And nothing beats road trips in a new Tahoe. And get an extra $500 bonus if you're in healthcare, an educator, a college grad, military, or first responder. And no matter what pre-owned you're looking for, it's here at Olive Branch. Jeeps, 4Runners, Expeditions, Navigators, all the trucks here in Olive Branch where you could drive them all. Bring any vehicle you want to sell and get a big check today. So let's go. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's special summer sale going on right now in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas, Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
It's the big Vista Summer event in Gossett. Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the pipe. Yo, Rock and Ronnie, what you got going on?
I've got 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive, $26,095 for $388 a month.
That's a rockin' Jeep deal. What else you got, Ronnie?
Power up in a 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, $26,795 or $398 a month.
And Ronnie, I know you're in the big Vista Summer event. You gotta have an incredible Ram deal.
2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4-wheel drive, $697 a month.
Rockin' Ronnie is rocking some deals today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Piker. Shop online at GossettMotorCars.net. Renegade Triple P 57256 MSRP 31095 Charger PH 636170 MSRP 37215 Ram RN 203232 MSRP 588. Price includes all rebates and incentives and excludes PF 695. All exclude tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Dealer stock only.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, and they're trying to move a stalled truck right now. It's clogging up traffic pretty good over here in the construction zone on 55 northbound right at Macklemore. That's why it's crawling between Mallory and Macklemore here in the construction zone on 55 northbound because of this stalled truck blocking the right lane. It was already busy enough over here as it is. Traffic's increasing now on I-40 westbound coming past Germantown Parkway. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversions. Log on now, havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by James Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Hour 3 of the program is brought to you each and every day by Jenkins Floors and More. They have the new warehouse open up at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, Mississippi. They have other stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, and in Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting. It is a family-owned and operated business. And if it's variety you're looking for, they have it at Jenkins Floors and More. SPC and WPC vinyls, which are scratch-resistant, waterproof, top of the line. Ceramic and porcelain tiles, hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, plus backsplashes, plantation shutters and blinds, and so much more. And they sell it wholesale. They skip the middleman, going to save you lots of money. Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins started this business 8 years ago in their garage. And because of their quality of work, their attention to detail, and their pricing, they have earned the reputation of being one of the top flooring companies in the area. So for residential and commercial, that means homeowners, contractors out there, do yourself a favor, see what Jenkins Floors and More has to offer, and they will install. They'll do so in unheard of 2-week turnaround. They will come to you, give you a free estimate. Financing is available. They're open Monday through Saturday. Call them, 662 350 or stop by any of their 3 stores, including their new warehouse at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, Mississippi. It's Jenkins Floors and More.
9:03 the time here in the Family Leisure Studios as we kick off hour number 3 on this Thursday morning. Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. Going to head back down to Dallas, Texas here in just a moment at SEC Media Days, the final day. Got the British Open underway. Justin Thomas, the leader there. The Grizzlies winners last night in Summer League play. They'll play again tonight with a chance to get themselves into the Summer League playoffs. We talked about that earlier in the program, and still a couple of other things to get to later in the hour, but we're going to spend next couple of segments talking SEC football. And right now we do head back down to Dallas, Texas, and Radio Row. Steve Moulton is host The Drive on 97.7 The Zone in Huntsville, Alabama, and he joins us now from Dallas, Texas. Steve, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing very well. Eli, Zach, it's a pleasure to be on, and it always is a marathon here, and it's hard to believe we're heading towards that finish line.
What have been your impressions of Dallas as a host and the first SEC Media Days with Texas and Oklahoma a part of it?
It's been different. It's been a little bit bigger for obvious reasons. The Texas media has really kind of driven home the point of how well the Longhorns have done last year and how well they're expected to do this year. So we've kind of had that rammed down our throat pretty good here at Media Days. But, other than that, it does feel a tad normal. If anything, I've been doing these Media Days consistently since 97. I do kind of miss that fan element that we had back in Hoover when we would see the painted dogs and we'd see the guys wearing rings. There is, that part of it where this is obviously for the fans. So that part I do miss.
Yeah, the Bear Bryant lookalikes and everything else. It was always fun.
Exactly.
The Alabama Day down at the Hoover, Alabama was always fun. There's no doubt about that. Wanted to get you on to talk about one of the teams that you cover, and that being the Auburn Tigers. And, of course, our friend Hugh Freeze, who many people here are very familiar with, going into year number 2 at Auburn. And I was talking with Brett earlier that with Auburn, I have full confidence in Hugh Freeze and being able to get things going there, but I just don't have faith that he has his quarterback yet. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Peyton Thorne. Should I?
So there's a lot to like about Peyton Thorne, and if you go back and actually his one real banner year at Michigan State, he had a couple of second-round draft picks around him, and Jaden Reed as well as Kenneth Walker. And fast forward here to in 2024, I think Auburn has better pieces around Peyton Thorne this year, certainly than they had last year. You got Jarquez Hunter in the backfield, and everyone's talking about Cam Coleman at the wide receiver position. Now, are those 2 NFL draft picks? I think Cam could be in that direction. I don't know about Jarquez. He's certainly trending in that direction. But the fact that, as well as you, we all know about Hugh Freeze and play calling ability. I think that is a big difference from not having Philip Montgomery not being the play caller this year and having Hugh Freeze take over what he's really good at. This would be like Lane Kiffin not putting his fingerprints on that offense there at Ole Miss. So I think it's just natural, and that is going to be a good progression for Auburn offensively, having Hugh as the play caller.
You bring up Cam Coleman. How good is this kid?
He's really good. I went down for a couple of spring practices, and there are certain guys that you see on a practice field, and you go, wow, that's a freshman. He does not look like a freshman. It is amazing how much of these nutritional programs have elevated and how quick the turnaround is. And it is at a position like wide receiver, and I think he is going to be a big impact player because when you take a look at Auburn's schedule in particular, they have 5 home games right out of the gate, and I think that's a good tone center for a lot of these pieces on offense and defense for the Auburn Tigers this year.
Offensive line, what do you think there?
So, yeah, you've done your homework, haven't you? So, if you followed the Auburn program at all, really over the last, I'll say, decade. And I'll go back to Gus Malzahn and what he did with that offensive line. This was a reoccurring problem for the Auburn Tigers year after year after year. And, of course, there was that guy from Boise that came in for a couple of years as well. Tried to turn that around, was unable to do so. That ended very badly. But I say all that to say that this is finally, last year at this time, he brought in a bunch of portal players, and there's finally some depth along that offensive line, and I think quality depth. And I think it's in mid-level SEC depth that is going to pop its head, I want to say, maybe late October, because they're going to go at Georgia, at Mizzou back-to-back, and then at Kentucky. And I think that those are the meat grinder weeks that can really chew up an offensive line. They're sustainable, they're decent, but it's middle of the pack, and I think that's going to be an issue for the Auburn football team this year.
On the defensive side, DJ Durkin comes in, Charles Kelly comes in as coordinators there. A lot of starters back on the defensive side of the ball. How improved can the defense be?
Well, one guy in particular, Keontae Scott, who had the ankle injury last year, who's coming back, who also is a punt returner as well. I think that is one of the key players, as is Eugene Asante. Those are both key players, but the DBs and Scott and Lee, I think are a little undervalued, and I think Auburn has a maybe better than average secondary for DJ Durkin, as you mentioned, his first year taking over for Ron Roberts. And I thought Auburn's defense was decent last year as well, and I think it's actually one of the strengths on this Auburn team. But it is hinged on Keontae, and if he can stay healthy as well, and you mentioned, I mentioned Eugene Asante. He's kind of the quarterback of that defense, and he knows what he's doing out there because he has a ton of experience.
There was obviously the very low point of the home loss to New Mexico State last year, but then follow that up with being right there against Alabama. How do fans assess, and would you assess the first year under Hugh Freeze?
I think most fans, it was a tough pill to swallow, 4th and 31. There is no doubt that was a tough pill to swallow. But down the stretch, and especially how the bowl game turned out as well, Auburn fans just had a bad taste in their mouth down the stretch. But I will say the good news, though, if you go back and take a look at year 2 for Hugh Freeze, be it at Liberty, at Ole Miss, I'll go to Lambeth. If you can win in year 2 at Lambeth, he was 12-1. And if you can win at Lambeth, I don't know if you've been to Lambeth. I have. If you can win at Lambeth, that is pretty impressive. I believe he was 8-5 at Ole Miss in his second year as well. So I feel like that's an uptick. 6-7 last year was definitely disappointing for the Auburn faithful. I can see this as an 8-9 win team, and I think that would be serviceable. And I think the fans, if they see progression in the right way for Hugh here in year 2.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, you would think that the 4 non-conference games should all be wins.
You would think.
And then
you mentioned New Mexico.
That is true. That is true. You got them at homecoming. We're going to make sure to redeem ourselves for that game. And then, as you said, with the 5 home games to open up the season, that certainly sets up well also to get off to a good start.
It really does, and especially with the likes of Alabama A&M, Cal, New Mexico, Arkansas, OU. That's an intriguing way to start the SEC campaign with Arkansas. There's a lot of questions around the Hogs. In fact, they're first up out of the gate coming up here in about 20 minutes. And it's a big year for Sam Pittman as well. Mm-hmm. But I know we're talking Auburn. But I mentioned back-to-backs. The road is there is no easy schedule for the SEC, but this is at Georgia, at Mizzou, at Kentucky. That's 3, knock down, drag out test in a big way for Auburn. If they can survive that, they do have Vandy on the other side, but some little trip to Tuscaloosa and something called the Iron Bowl as well.
It's interesting on their schedule because they open up against Alabama A&M. They end their schedule against A&M and Alabama. So it's very syncly there. How big is it for them to no longer have the huge shadow of Nick Saban in the state at Alabama?
There is still some worry, just because of how seamlessly, and especially what we're seeing on the recruiting side out of the new coach there in Tuscaloosa. And we certainly saw him yesterday down here in Dallas. But the way he has come in, and immediately it does feel like to me that the coaching staff is actually better in Tuscaloosa this year than it was last year. I'm not necessarily saying a better head coach, but I'm saying the coaching staff as a whole. And that part, you can't help but notice of what he is capable of doing there in Tuscaloosa. So there is, I would say, same amount, if not a little bit more, skepticism on the whether or not the Alabama program is going to go down a tick or two. I'm not buying it. What about you?
I mean, it seems like it has to go down a little bit because it's not Nick Saban anymore. But you are right. Like, the transition has looked pretty darn good. And, like, he's obviously, Kalen DeBoer certainly seems to know what he's doing with what he did at Washington as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. But you just think, like, man, you lose Nick Saban, there has to be some sort of drop-off. Even if it's a little one, it's darn Nick Saban, for goodness sake, that you no longer have.
And it's year one as well, but I immediately go back in my head and think about year one at Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa. That was 7-6, but keep in mind he was trying to put together stuff left over by Mike Shula. So this is a guy who's just got through going into the national championship game, and then all of a sudden you take over this. And I know a lot of people are focusing on the likes of Caleb Downs leaving, but the fact that he retained most of that roster – and bringing in, I think, a total of 4 players from Washington as well, it to me would be cause for concern. And I think Bama's schedule is no cupcake either, but it's so I've talked to a couple of Bama folks down here, and I said, "What's worst case scenario? Give me a worst case scenario." And they immediately say 9 or 10 wins. And I said, okay, so that you think that's worst case scenario is a 9-win season. So things are still the same in Tuscaloosa.
Boy, what a disastrous year that would be to only win 9. You've covered the SEC for a long time. Are you in agreement with most that the top 4 teams this year are Georgia, Texas, Alabama, and Ole Miss?
I do. Yes.
And what order do you put them in?
So I actually just got through doing my ballot, and I have Texas and Ole Miss playing in the SEC championship game, and I have Texas winning the Southeastern Conference this year.
Wow, so you do not have Georgia even making the championship game.
Take a look at their schedule. And if you go back and take a look at that SEC championship game last year, I went and covered that game. The lack of depth along the defensive front reared its ugly head in a big way, and I don't think Georgia really addressed it. They can certainly get better, but I'm talking about the depth and that second line, and there really wasn't a whole lot addressed in that. And I think with the road schedule, with them playing Texas, with them playing Ole Miss, and as well as Georgia, Georgia playing at Alabama, That's brutal, and I don't think enough is being said. I'm not sitting here saying they're not going to be a playoff team. I think they will be a playoff team, but I could see them being around about a 6 or a 7 seed maybe. And just remember, those automatic qualifiers immediately qualify to the top 4, so everything's going to get readjusted after everything is set there in December.
Yeah, that thing, like as you said, like most everybody seems to agree that those are the top 4 teams in the SEC, and for them to have to play the other 3 on the road, that's that is no favor from the schedule makers. Whereas Ole Miss, gets them at home, gets Oklahoma at home. Like they get their schedule certainly works out way better if you're looking at just the schedule within the SEC. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I would say of the favorable schedules that I've seen and kind of studied up, I would say Ole Miss is off the top of my list, but I think Mizzou is also has a very favorable schedule. They do have a Week 9 game at Alabama you want to circle, but other than that, it seems fairly manageable for Mizzou.
If there's a surprise team in the conference this year, who do you think it would be?
So I actually, you know what? I don't mind telling on myself here. I did the predicted order of finish. I told you I had Texas, Ole Miss. That's followed by Bama, Georgia, Mizzou, Oklahoma. Maybe a little bit of a surprise. I've got them at number 6 because they have a lot of experience along the offensive line, and I like the message I heard out of Coach Venables from earlier in the week. The rest of my predicted order of finish, I've got A&M 7th, Auburn 8th, LSU 9th, and then 10 through 16. This is without knowing tiebreakers. None of us know the tiebreakers. Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt.
So you have
chew me up, Eli. Chew me up.
You have Tennessee down there. That's pretty low for Tennessee from what I've seen from most people.
I think they're going to take a big step back defensively, and I think that's it's really starting to feel to me, and I could be way off base. Ask my wife. It will not be the first time I'll be wrong. It won't be the next time I'll be wrong. But to me, I'm starting to get a little Gus Malzahn vibe out of Josh Heupel, meaning that one-trick pony and not able to adapt and change what he's doing on the offensive side of things. So I could be wrong, but that's what I'm starting to see, that downward trend like we saw when he was at UCF when it's started going down as well. But that is at least what I'm anticipating out of the Vols. I've got plenty of Vol fans who've already responded to me since I posted it, saying thank you. The Molten Curse is squarely going to benefit the Tennessee Volunteers.
To be very interesting to see if you are right as far as Josh Heupel is concerned. He is Steve Moulton, hosts The Drive on 97.7 The Zone in Huntsville, Alabama. Steve, thank you so much for your time, man. Good stuff. We appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too. Steve Moulton joining us from Dallas, Texas, and SEC Media Days, talking a little Auburn Tigers, a little SEC in general as well. So he is not nearly as high on Tennessee as some others are. But again, like you start trying to do the order of finish in this conference. I mean, there's a lot of really good football teams. It's hard to do, hard to figure out. But he's got Ole Miss in that conference championship game. It would be the first time ever for Ole Miss in the SEC championship game. And based on so if you go by his SEC championship game and what he believes will happen, it's very interesting because most of these people who are doing their college football playoff projections, they have the loser of the SEC championship game as the 5th seed. So in his, that would make Ole Miss the 5th seed if he was correct. He has them losing in the SEC championship game. So that would put them as the 5th seed in the tournament, in the playoff, which would mean if the Tigers got in as the group of 5 school, that's going to be the 12th seed in pretty much every year. The group of 5 team will be the 12th seed when they get in. And that would set up Tigers, Ole Miss, my dream scenario, first round of the playoff down in Oxford.
It's at the Grove.
That would be, I'm telling you, that would be so much fun. Oh, I would love to. That would be there would be so much fun to that.
Would it be enough to get College Game Day to come to the Mid-South?
It depends what the other matchups would be that first round of the playoffs. Because you're going to obviously have all really good teams playing. So that it's probably not because you've got the group of 5 school in it. Like everything else is going to be Power 4 versus Power 4. Yeah. And you're going to probably get some crazy matchups in there that are just unbelievable. And so they would probably end up there.
But if the Tigers are undefeated going into Oxford.
If they were undefeated, if they had beaten Florida State and everything else, now we're talking maybe a little bit different.
Okay.
But if you've got Alabama playing Penn State or something like that, which, like those types of matchups that you're going to have, it's going to be, that first round of the playoffs is going to be some, if Notre Dame's hosting, and I think like Notre Dame could end up being the 5th seed. Because if Notre Dame can't be top 4.
Yeah.
So if Notre Dame goes like,
we're going to South Bend, baby.
Yeah,
Come on.
like think about that. Like if Notre Dame's like undefeated, they're the 5th seed. There's no doubt about it. They're the 5th seed. So even if they're 11-1, good chance they're the 5th seed. And then all of a sudden the Tigers get the 12th seed, and you're headed to Notre Dame for a college football playoff game.
Let's go. I'm hyped now. I'm ready to go.
Like the things you can think about for the Tigers. That's what, like, it's just cool to think like some of these matchups that they could get in the first round of the playoffs if they are the 12 seed or wherever they are. But because they're going to be on the road for the first round in all likelihood. But it's cool to think of some of the possibilities of a local thing like that, of going to Oxford or a trip to Notre Dame or a trip to Athens or a trip to Tuscaloosa, something
going
like
to places
that.
unknown.
Like it's just like, what? We're doing what? We're going to play a college football playoff game where? Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. Folks, if you're buying a diamond, you're probably not real sure, not very educated on exactly what you should be looking for, what you should be looking at, what determines all the pricing and everything else. But if you head over to Genesis Diamonds, they'll help you out. They'll educate you on those types of things. They've got great people there. They're not commissioned salespeople. They're there to educate you and help you be a smarter shopper, a smarter buyer when it comes to buying jewelry. Unbelievable selection, unbelievable pricing, and unbelievable service is what you'll find at Genesis Diamonds. Located at Poplar and Perkins Extended. You don't want to buy a diamond anywhere else until you learn the ins and outs from Genesis. They'll take great care of you and make you a smarter shopper when it comes to buying jewelry at Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended. Trey Schapp up next, talking Arkansas on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hey everybody, together let's drive to the beach, to the lake, to the mountains, to anywhere in what you really want to drive in. I'm out here at Olive Branch at All-Star Chevy. Hundreds of new and pre-owned Silverados are out here right now, some marked 12% off invoice. Add up all the All-Star special discounts and look for Costco member deals. It's one sweet buyer's market with financing as low as 1.9. No payments for 90 days on a bunch of new All-Star Chevys. And nothing beats road trips in a new Tahoe. And get an extra $500 bonus if you're in healthcare, an educator, a college grad, military, or first responder. And no matter what pre-owned you're looking for, it's here at Olive Branch. Jeeps, 4Runners, Expeditions, Navigators, all the trucks here in Olive Branch where you could drive them all. Bring any vehicle you want to sell and get a big check today. So let's go. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's special summer sale going on right now in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianelderroofing.com.
say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. Sport 56 mornings, 9:30 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. Greg will be back on the program tomorrow as we head back down to Dallas. I can tell you that Tiger Woods did make a birdie on his third hole, he is now 1 under par. And Rory McIlroy finishes his first round with a 78, 7 over par today for Rory McIlroy. Trey Schapp, he's a big golf guy. He's with 103.7 The Buzz in Little Rock. We're going to talk some Arkansas Razorbacks with him. Trey, who was your pick for the British Open?
I like Scotty Scheffler. I don't know why, but I just do. But I didn't think Rory McIlroy would hit it over the train tracks.
Yes.
I mean,
that's
oh my gosh,
a rough one today for Rory McIlroy. It's the one thing that Justin Thomas with the lead and with the rain and everything else, now it looks like there's a good chance he will hold on to that lead. It's going to be tough for anybody to shoot better than that. It looks like maybe Justin Thomas has found his game.
He maybe has. I mean, he played well last week in the Scottish Open over there, had a very nice first round. Look, Eli, it's all about the weather when it comes to the British Open and the Open Championship. I was fortunate enough to go over there last summer and play and got a good dose of weather until we got to Carnoustie, where the wind just blew obnoxiously hard. And then this March was able to go back to sit down with Peter Dawson for an two episodes of my golf podcast.
Oh, cool!
From the short grass, and so got to play the old course again. And it was cold, windy, but you expect that when you go to Scotland.
Yeah, it just now with the rain coming down, it just looks like it's miserable there. It just looks cold and miserable, and these guys have to.
They like it though. Yeah, they like it over there.
I don't understand that. I prefer weather like we have today here. That's what I like to play golf in. That is for sure. Well, the Arkansas Razorbacks. How much pressure on Sam Pittman to start this year?
You know, I really think there's a lot. Obviously, last year 4-8, you lost to Mississippi State 7-3 in your home stadium. I mean, and you were up 3-0. I mean, you get an interception early in that game in your offense. I mean, even in Mississippi State territory, and your offense can't do anything, and you only get 3 points. Your defense holds Mississippi State to 7 points. If your defense can hold SEC teams to a touchdown and an extra point, you should win every single one of those games. And Arkansas did not do that last year. I think they won one game by one score, and they lost 4 or 5 by one score. So that's how close the margin was, but they were just not fortunate last year. And I think the hot seat for Sam Pittman, it starts early. If they go to Oklahoma State and get embarrassed and then come back and struggle with UAB before they head to Auburn, it could get ugly pretty quick.
And last year, that's 4-8. That with KJ Jefferson, he's gone. Taylon Green comes in from Boise State. Pretty dynamic guy last year at Boise State. What do you think he can do as the quarterback in this offense?
Well, obviously, I was just out talking to Andrew Armstrong, one of the players they brought here, and, of course, Taylon Green as well. But Andrew Armstrong says he throws a great ball. He puts it right there. He said, look, I'm a receiver. I like to catch passes, and he's a quarterback, and he wants to throw them. And so I think that he's going to come in, and he's gotten with Bobby Petrino. He says I can go in and talk to him at any time, and he's a guy that, he's gotten on to me at times, but I've deserved it. He goes, but I've learned a lot so far already just being around Coach Petrino. And everybody understands what Coach Petrino brings to the table. Last year at Texas A&M, Jimbo didn't let him do anything hardly. He was having to run Jimbo's offense with Jimbo's style and verbiage. This is Bobby Petrino's verbiage this year, and I think Taylon Green's going to come in, and I think they will be successful on offense this year. Maybe I'm just rose-colored glasses on. I don't know, but I think Bobby Petrino, they will be successful on offense. Bobby Petrino has always found a way. Look, he brought Missouri State into Fayetteville 2 years ago and was beating Arkansas at Arkansas as the head coach. Think about that for a second.
Were you surprised that they brought him back?
Yes and no. Yes, because of the way it went down and the hoops that they had to clear to bring him back. No, because what he did at Arkansas. He won 11 games in his last year at Arkansas, beating Kansas State right here in, I say in Dallas, but in Arlington at the Cotton Bowl, North Texas. That was a team that year that it was Alabama, LSU, and Arkansas. And that was college football that year. Arkansas just happened to lose to Alabama and LSU.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, again, especially with offense, like the guy has successful offenses. Was it a desperation move by Sam Pittman to bring him back?
I don't really think it was all Sam Pittman's idea. I think there was some push from outside as well. I know Bobby was definitely open to it when Jimbo was let go at Texas A&M, but I don't know that it was 100% Sam's idea. Now, Sam did say earlier this morning that he's pleased with what he's been able to do so far, that they're working great. Their relationship is great. It's grown. And there are times when he'll ask head coaches questions to Bobby Petrino. There are times when Coach Petrino will say to Sam, hey, have you thought about this? And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to do that right now. We're going to do that at this other time. And Petrino's like, okay, great. There's no push about, well, I think you should do it this way because that's the way I would do it. It's bantering back and forth and bouncing ideas off of each other.
Is there a world that exists where they have a good year offensively, but still maybe not a great year overall? Pittman is out, and Bobby Petrino is the head coach again at Arkansas.
Possibly.
Man, that's so weird to think. That's so weird to think.
It really is. I guess if, let's say, Arkansas loses to Oklahoma State, they struggle against UAB, or heaven forbid they lose to UAB, I think right then the pressure's ramped up. But let's say they lose at Auburn, they lose to Texas A&M again. I mean, Pittman's only beaten A&M one time. It's the last year that they're going to play at AT&T Stadium. And then you start the gauntlet after that when you come back in Tennessee. Let's say, Eli, they lose to Oklahoma State, they beat UAB, They lose to Auburn. They lose to A&M. So they're 2-3 going into the Tennessee game, and Tennessee comes in and just boat races them by like 30. I think you can see a change right there in the middle of the season.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, I could certainly go into that bye week. Yeah, then you got to.
I mean, hey, Dan Enos last year 7-3 loss to Mississippi State. He's out as offensive coordinator before they go to Florida, and they end up winning in the Swamp.
Yeah, then boy, that stretch to end the season where you've got LSU, you've got Ole Miss, you've got Texas, you've got Missouri. It's going to be a tough stretch down the road. What about the defensive side of the ball? Talk about again, the defense last year did some good things and certainly gave their offense chances to win some games, although they couldn't. But what do you think of the defense for this year?
I think they're going to be solid. Obviously, Landon Jackson back. He's a leader on the defensive side of the football. He's here this year at SEC Football Media Days. I asked him a little while ago about his game at Alabama last year. I mean, he really had a coming-out party. I think he had 3 sacks in that game against Alabama last year. And he said, look, I'd take a win and coming off the field like we did at Florida over me having a good game like I did at Alabama.
What do you see as the kind of the floor and the ceiling record-wise?
The floor would be not making a bowl game. Like 4 wins like last year, 4-8, 5-7. I think if they can get to a bowl game or the ceiling, I mean, everybody's ceiling would be 12-0, not Arkansas's. I think Eli, if they could get to 8 wins, I think that would be phenomenal. I mean, you look at that schedule, though. You got Texas, Ole Miss, LSU, Tennessee. Those are your home games. You're at A&M. I mean, you go to Mississippi State. You go to Auburn and Jordan-Hare Stadium. You go to Missouri to end the year, and it could be – it could be cold and snowy, and you're playing in 5 inches of snow up there, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, or it could be 44 degrees and pouring down rain like it has been before. You just never know what you're going to get in Columbia. So I think 8 wins would be the high mark, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, 8 wins. Like I said, that would be really with their schedule. I think 8 wins would be an
and I think they'd be
year.
Ecstatic. Yeah, because then you go to a bowl game, you might win it, you get – hey, you finished with 9 wins, 9-4. That's what you did a couple of years ago when you won the Outback Bowl over Penn State.
Yeah,
I think people could say, hey, they're back on the uptick now.
Yeah, because that means you out of Missouri, Texas, Ole Miss, LSU, Oklahoma, you've had to win at least one of those and win all of the others. So that would be a heck of a year if they could get to 8 wins. Certainly, with that would be pretty incredible.
If they protect Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium and Frank Broyles Field this year and win their home games, then it'll be a successful season.
How much excitement is there to have Texas in the conference and be back in a conference with Texas?
I think after a couple of years ago when Sark brought Texas to Fayetteville and got their kicked out of them by the Razorbacks, they were happy about the announcement. They're thinking, hey, yeah, we can do this every year. After what Texas did last year and the way Sark has loaded up, I think they're thinking, uh-oh, what have we gotten ourselves into again?
Yeah, it's
I mean, I really think that's it.
And then the other one, what's the feeling right now around Arkansas with Calipari coming in there? Like, obviously, it's all kinds of excitement about football, but what's like the basketball? How does that take attention away?
No, Eli, there's more excitement about basketball and baseball right now than football because of what they just went through. I'm telling you, people are not really excited about football yet over there. They're just not. And Cal hasn't been around enough yet. He hadn't had enough media opportunities to kind of get his message out. I mean, yeah, he's been going. I mean, he was at USA basketball game in Las Vegas, a week ago. And, he was down at the NBA Finals here in Dallas at American Airlines Center watching some of his former players play in it. So, yeah, there's a lot more hype around that. I know he's got a big camp that he's doing in Russellville, Arkansas tomorrow at the high school there that is, what I've been told, is completely sold out. Going to have a lot of people there, a lot of excitement around it. I think there's more excitement around Coach Cal being at Arkansas right now than Arkansas football coming up this season.
Wow. Cal can do that. Cal can he'll bring some attention to himself and his program. That is for sure. And as they coming off a 4-8 year with a coach that a lot of people probably think maybe think is a lame duck coach. And certainly, I could certainly see that as well. He is Trey Schapp, 103.7 The Buzz in Little Rock. Trey, thank you so much for your time, man. We certainly appreciate it.
You got it, Eli. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. Trey Schapp joining us from down at Radio Row in Dallas, Texas, and the fourth and final day of SEC Media Days. Arkansas, one of the teams there today, along with Auburn, Kentucky, and Texas A&M. And that would be how bizarre that would be if that scenario played out and like they make a move in the middle of the year and Bobby Petrino. It's weird enough that he's back at Arkansas. Could you imagine Bobby Petrino again as the head coach at Arkansas? It's hard to process that one in my brain. But you certainly could see it. Like that is not an outlandish thing to think could happen. That's for sure. But boy, be a weird scenario for him to be the guy.
Hopefully we don't have another motorcycle incident.
Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully if he does end up, as the head coach again, like he's learned some lessons. I think hopefully he's a different guy this time around. But hey, you just never really know. When we come back, a couple of other things to hit on before we wrap things up, including Team USA's win yesterday in another exhibition game as they knock off Serbia. A couple of other notes, recap some of that Grizzlies stuff that we talked about early in the program as well, and give you another update on the British Open. This is Sports 56 Mornings, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
In Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking the bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special guides, vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli locations at Ridgeway in the Parkway Center, Upper Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Highland Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Are you ready to ride? Well, we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the bike. Get 41 MPG Highway and 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $37.99 to assign it. 2024 Kia Sportage, $279 a month, $34.99 to assign it. Or how about a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite with 0% APR available for 48 months? Or get 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Acquisition fee $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE 794,066, MSRP 21,820. Sportage R73 161.97, MSRP 28,865. EV9 R60 29,603, MSRP 61,035. Includes all rebates and incentives and PF 695. Includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 7/31/24. Dealer stock only.
You watch sports. You listen to sports. Now let's talk sports. Well, not anymore, because Sports 56 is opening the airwaves overnight. From 12 midnight till 6 a.m. for people like you to talk sports during your own 1-hour radio talk show on Sports After Dark. It's for 1 hour. Tell us what's really on your mind regarding sports. Your favorite sports team, favorite player, discuss pre-games, post-games, all games. Let's talk. Rotation is required. Interested applicants must contact the podcast center at gmail.com or call 901-468-3097. That's the podcast center at gmail.com or 901-468-3097. Amateur and professional talk show hosts encouraged to apply.
Required orientation is Saturday, July 20th, or you can take it online at your leisure at the podcast center, Memphis.com.
I have the perfect place for all you round ballers out there. If you want to improve your game, you want to become a better shooter, Shoot 360 Memphis is the place for you. They've been around now for a while in Collierville, and they are about to open up their new store in Cordova. You can become a member at either one or both locations, and now they're transitioning to monthly memberships. From preps to pros, this is about as cool a place as you'll ever see. If you are a basketball player looking to perfect your shot, challenge yourself, compete with others, and really learn the proper ways to shoot the basketball using modern analytics. What they do is a revolutionary training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with expert coaching to improve shooting skills. The facility is equipped with advanced shooting machines that provide real-time feedback on shooting accuracy, and most importantly, arc in depth. Players can track their progress and analyze their performance. Again, currently in Collierville and coming soon to Cordova. So take advantage of it right now with the new transition to monthly memberships. Call them, 901-316-5500. Set up a tour of the facility or go online to register and sign up at Shoot 360 Memphis. It's where the preps and the pros go to get their shot on. Shoot 360 Memphis.
9:50 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Tiger Woods fouled up his birdie with a bogey. He's even par through 4. Justin Thomas, 3 under, your leader at the British Open. He is in the clubhouse after shooting a 68 with a one-shot lead over 5 golfers. Sepp Straka, the only one of those at 2 under par that is still on the golf course. He is through 9 holes. Yesterday, the USA basketball team played another exhibition game, knocking off Serbia. 105-79 the final, as Steph Curry had himself a big day. 24 points for Curry, 6 of 9 from 3. LeBron James, the only other starter in double digits with 11. Off the bench, Bam Adebayo with 17 points. Anthony Edwards with 16 points. Nikola Jokic had 16 points and 11 rebounds, but was only 6 of 19 from the field for Serbia. And the U.S. gets the easy win. Again, Serbia will be the team they play first at the Olympics. That's 10 days from now, July 28th. They'll play Serbia in their first actual Olympic game. They've got 2 more exhibition games they'll play in London before heading to Paris for the actual Olympic Games. They are now 3-0 in the exhibitions. And again, Joel Embiid did not play real well again. He struggled a little bit. Did have 8 points, but was just 2 of 8 from the field, 8 rebounds. That second unit where they played Adebayo and Davis together, really performed well. Interesting to see Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo. And Adebayo made 3 threes. So if he's doing that, like you talk about the defensive end, when you've got Anthony Davis and Bam on the court together, some rim protection, oh my goodness gracious.
Man, Team Serbia was playing hard, too. Like, I don't know what was in the water for them yesterday.
Well, hey, you put a bunch of Nicolas together. Actually, there was only he was the only Nikola that played because the one Nikola didn't play. And is Nikola Jovic not on the team?
No.
That's disappointing. I want as many Nicolas. They do have 2 of the Alexas, though, or Alexeis. It's like, man, they actually have 3 if you count the one that's spelled a little different. They need to get more creative on first names in Serbia. Like they're very lacking in their first name creativity.
Well, they got a Grizz legend in Marco.
And you've got Narco, and you've got Bogdan, which again I feel like there's multiples of those every year. They're very got to get more creative. But again, like while Serbia has Nikola Jokic, like he's awesome, like the rest of that team, not even close to what Team USA has. Like we should kill them every single time. Like it just does. Jokic, there's nothing Jokic can do. It would be beyond superhuman for him for them to beat USA. He'd have to go for like 50 and 30 to have a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, after him, then everybody on our team is better than everybody else on their team. That's just bottom line. Like we're way better than them. And there's nothing they can do about that.
It's just crazy, like how the first 10 minutes of that game started, and like you can like see the intensity that Team Serbia is having to start the game. It's like, bro, this is just an exhibition game. Like we're gonna see you all like in a couple weeks, man.
Well, their hope is that like because it's an exhibition, maybe our guys won't be taking it seriously, and so this is their chance to actually beat us. Like, then all of a sudden the second quarter happened, and it was like, oh yeah. Then the third quarter started. Like, okay, yep, it's
That's not how it works.
It's just we're not beating them. All right, so I think I've done the math here correctly. The Grizzlies tonight, if they win by just 1 point. Say they win by 1. For them not to make the playoffs for the Summer League, the Heat would have to win, and as long as the Heat win, they would be in. The Clippers would then have to win by 14, Golden State win by 10, and the Spurs win by 34.
Jeez.
That's if the Grizzlies only win by a point.
Okay.
So for every other point above that, add 1 more to those teams have to win by.
Whew.
So if the Grizzlies win by 10, the Spurs would then have to win by 44 to catch them.
Now I want to know who they playing.
Spurs play Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, David Jones is with us, man.
They don't play till Friday. I don't think they play till Friday though. I can't remember. I think one other team plays tonight. The others are playing tomorrow in their final games. But yeah, so again, if the Grizzlies win tonight, in all likelihood, they are in the Summer League playoffs, which they would play on Saturday in a semifinal, and then the championship game would be played on Sunday if they win that. So it's pretty much a win and in scenario. It would take quite a miracle for them if they win the game and not make the playoffs of the Summer League. So, and we'll see who plays tonight. With the back-to-back, I would assume Gigi's not playing. Pippen probably not playing. You'll get Spencer and LaRavia in. Does Zach Edey play? Maybe they're saving Zach Edey for the playoffs.
I love it. I love it,
We're
man.
saving him for the postseason. No reason to waste him in the regular season of the Summer League. We got postseason basketball to be played. We're saving him for that. So we'll see what happens with the Grizzlies, but that's a 5 o'clock game tonight Central Time, and you can watch it on NBA TV. Thank you to Brett Norsworthy. Thanks to Kerry Miller. Thanks to Steve Moulton and Trey Schapp for joining us on today's program. Coming up tomorrow, Greg will be back on the program. He'll be out in Vegas. He's out there watching Summer League games, doing some scouting. He'll join us on the program tomorrow morning. Of course, John Varlas will be here with us tomorrow morning as well, and probably a couple of other guests that we may have along the way. Of course, the British Open Round 2 will be underway. We'll keep you up to date on that as well on tomorrow's program. Up next, it is Wolo and Friends with Bryant Dacus and Zach Boyd taking you through that hour before John Harden and Sports 56 Happy Hour. Again, good chance of some rain today, but tomorrow, Saturday, we've got some beautiful weather on tap, so we certainly are looking forward to that. Maybe, just maybe, we can avoid the rain today. I'm Eli Savoy saying so long. Have yourself a great Thursday. We'll talk to you again tomorrow morning, bright and early at 7 o'clock right here on Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.